We are now.
Great. White power. Warning.
Hold on.
This information is not for entertainment purposes. If you are Black, African American, Negro, colored, fraternity or sorority affiliated, Mason, Shriner, Jesuit, Fiat worshiper, money worshiper, idol worshiper, religious worshiper, political worshiper, suffer from mental illness, drug addiction of any kind, self-hate, depression, Willie Lynch syndrome, Stockholm syndrome, five monkey syndrome, a robot, stuck on persons or places or things, do not like reading and comprehension, have a fear of the unknown, a fear of Amorites, misnomer white people, scared of upsetting Massa and irritating his plantation, have a highly disagreeable nature, love slavery, love the Matrix, and want to continue to stay plugged into the Matrix, then these addresses are not for you. Please hang up or stop this video and do not listen ever again. This is not for you, and you know it. These weekly addresses are for deities only and for those who are ready to ascend. This information breaks up families, and you may end up walking this path alone. This information will cause your nervous system to go into full shock from atoms to quarks. And if you want to remain asleep, this information will cause irreparable damage to you and may cause you to go crazy. As Jack Nicholson stated in the movie A Few Good Men, you can't handle the truth. With that being said, this is our 64th weekly address of questions and answers with Maku Nubu Ina Sagar, Chief Brown Eyes Hawk, also known as Chief Nanya Shaabu Eil, copyright trademark, of the Atsakata Nation of Yamasee Moors, copyright trademark, discussing current events with current solutions through action. Atsakata Nation of Yamasee Moors, copyright trademark, is internationally recognized by the United Nations as an indigenous peoples organization and indigenous nation. Atsakata Nation of Yamasee Moors, copyright trademark, are also stakeholders of the United States and Canada, lien holders, claimants, and creditors of the Vatican Holy See, Elizabeth II, a.k.a. Elizabeth Mary Windsor Mountbatten Battenberg, and all their agents, heirs, assigns, and principals, the state of Georgia, and the White House. For 64 weeks now, Maku Nubu Ina Sagar, also known as Chief Nanya Shaabu Eil, registered copyright trademark, has been awaiting questions regarding his official websites, which was the reason for doing the weekly addresses. So, get a pen. The addresses are http://sites.google.com/sites/ATSIKHATANATIONY and http://INDIGENOUS9.tripod.com, indigenous9.tripod.com, and from his Talks in his treaties. The information from these three sources are imperative reading to come on the addresses and will give you overstanding of Atsakata Nation and Yamasee Moors, copyright trademark, and the ability to use this knowledge to take action. The Talks in his treaties is on Scribe, and all should have access to it now. Set up an account and continue to use the site to publish materials about your indigenous standing. Facts are facts. Truth is truth. And now is the only time you have. If you are not a secured party, Maku Nubu Inat Sagar Chief Brown Eyes Hawk, also known as Chief Nanya Shaabu Eil, copyright trademark, is only available to you during the weekly address, or email him at atoxin19@gmail.com. That's AUTOCHTHON19@gmail.com. If you are a secured party, you may attend the interactive online training for secured parties.
All right, can't complain.
We are taught laws of the Mishnah, Black's Law, how to navigate commerce and contracts, discharging quote-unquote debts, bond writing, etc. Those interested in participating in the secondary trainings for groups 3 and 4 on Saturdays and Sundays may email the chief. You may send the chief mail or packaged items to Chief Nanya Shaabu Eil, GD Station, Maine, Edmonton, Alberta, T5J2G8. Our address can be accessed on Nanya Akiru's webpage at youtube.com/user/Phoenix Rose, that's FEENIXROSE, or on Facebook at ASHNYM Weekly Address, or Google at Cicada Nation Weekly Address. Universal consent and permission is granted with all autochthonous rights reserved eternally by Chief Nanya Shaabu Eil, copyright trademark, for all to record and upload the weekly address and to post them wherever you choose. Our Facebook page is daily news postings by our Maku Chief Nanya Shaabu Eil. There you will find current and interesting news articles, as well as postings related to claiming indigenous standing. Also on Facebook, we have the SF-181 page. There you will see published examples of SF-181s. Maku Nubu Inat Sagar Chief Brown Eyes Hawk, also known as Chief Nanya Shaabu Eil's Facebook page is Nanya Shaabu Eil, and his fan page is Chief Nanya Shaabu Eil, registered copyright trademark of the Cicada Nation. If you want to be Facebook friends with the chief, send a private Facebook message with your friend request, or he will not friend you. Rawat, Wahotep, Ila Antutin, greetings and peace to you all. Our addresses now begin at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Saturday. The call-in number is 661-673-8605 with access code 846967#. The playback number is 559-670-1099 with the same access code 846967#. We take questions over the phone internationally, domestically, from east to west, sisters, and then brothers. We also answer questions via Skype and Facebook message. To join in on a Skype call, call Nanya Eil. We ask that you mute your phone by pressing *6 and your Skype call during this recording, unless you have a question, of course. Abud Gadur, White Power, Maku, the floor is yours.
Hata Couture.
Nana.
Okay, so what we're going to do, as always, we're going to do invocations first. Then we're going to play the theme of this week's address, and then we're going to go into questions. The theme will be a little long, but it's going to be it's going to be worth it. Okay, Timtpa. Nuk enfinu hamudmu ila rei. Nuk enfinu hamudmu ila rei. Nuk enfinu hamudmu ila rei. Kawunfin, Kawunfin, Kawunfin. On, on, on. Amun, Amun, Amun. Hinak Kalun Nut Allah Lalul Re. Hinak Kalun Nut Allah Lalul Re. Hinak Kalun Nut Allah Lalul Re. Kawunfin, Kawunfin, Kawunfin. On, on, on. Amun, Amun, Amun. And the last invocation, Inan Asa Fi Pa Timta. Inan Asa Fi Pa Timta. Inan Asa Fi Pa Timta. Kawunfin, Kawunfin, Kawunfin. On, on, on. Amun, Amun, Amun. The first invocation that I did, this is in Holy Tablets, Chapter 5, Tablet 4, verse 241. The second invocation I did is Holy Tablets, Chapter 5, Tablet 4, verse 245. And the third invocation that I did is Holy Tablets, Chapter 2, Tablet 3, verse 20. Rahu at ila antutim. I'm going to play the theme for this week's address, and it's kind of fitting, dealing with what's happening with the situation with the some of the language here is a bit strong. However, the fact still remains that this is what is really being thought about, but not what's said. And a lot of people who've heard this will probably agree with this Amorite. This is a YouTube link. I was supposed to play this about a couple weeks ago, and you know how things are. We got so much stuff we try to cover in a short period of time. So this is the link for those on Skype. You have it. Those that's on Facebook, go to Atsakata Nation weekly address. And I'm going to put the link on right now, and I'm going to play this. And this is just stating the current state of affairs of existence in a monetary system. When you have an Amorite telling Nubians straight out that you all are slaves. But, you know, when I say it, they don't pay attention to it, so I'm sure they'll pay attention to it now. So just let me get this here 1 second. I want to play this. And he's supposedly a music executive. So his name, he's supposed to be White Racist Music Executive, ARAB and OBH. We still own you niggers. I come from a slave-owning family.
What's up, motherfuckers? Welcome to Boss Tycoon Radio. I'm the CEO of Boss Tycoon LLC, Tyreek Sneed, CEO of Juggernaut Inc., Coors Entertainment, Guns Galore Records. Now, here's the thing. I don't like the way the niggas are coming at me. I am the businessman. I have the capital. These niggas act like they're in a position of power, so I just want to go over something real quick. What you have is a bunch of bitch niggas who get on YouTube and think because they get views that they're the shit and that they're rich. You can't convert those views into money. I'm the only way that I can make you money, period. So you're still broke, fucked up in the hood, right? So let's go into the OBH plan. The OBH is broke, fucked up in the hood. They're telling me in text messages that they need me, but then before that, they're being disrespectful, which I put the nigga in his place and told him anyone who talks to me like that will end up the fuck out of here. And basically, you do need me. I realize this. You're fucked up in the hood. Now, niggas need to show some respect. Number one, I want to say this. Blacks ask for respect for their culture all day, every day. You're not going to get any respect until you show some, boy. Now, my family, I come from a slave-owning family. We still own you in modern-day slavery. I don't have to show you respect. You have to show me some.
I'm going to pause it there for all that's on the call that will be listening, those that's listening to it now. Meditate on what he just told you all. So before any of you get ornery with me, know where you really are, what your real position and status is.
Any way you fucking figure it, nigga. Niggers are not dangerous. They're pussy and soft. That gets proven every day. I don't know what you're talking about. The white boy just went in the church and killed 90 and you're still talking shit. That's all y'all do is talk shit, okay? Talk your shit. But I've offered an opportunity to ARAB of OPH and OBH. Now you're trying to sideline me to make some deal with this razor nigga who doesn't get a quarter or fucking millionth of the views that ARAB gets. Then they lied and said ARAB gets 100,000 consistently. No, he doesn't. I've looked at all this. So basically, ARAB is the big cow I'm trying to milk over there. We could be straight real about shit. Niggas don't have any clue what the fuck's going on. Now, I had just recorded all this shit. It was golden, nigga. And my fucking mic wasn't hooked up to the right computer, so it was all muted, so I got to redo it. But it's no problem, because this is talking from the heart of real shit. So I want to explain something to you. ARAB, I'm more of a street nigga than you'll ever be. I run the streets. Even in Philly, if I'd like to. The problem is you won't know, because you're not on my level. There's a lot of shit going on around you you don't understand. You're just the nigga stuck on his block kicking dumb shit, and you think that that's going to make you shut up like guys. So, first of all, the reason like get shut up, pussy. It's soft and not respected. So that makes all y'all for shit, nigga. If you want to sit there pretend to be some gangsters, start making videos of popping niggas.
Oh, he got knocked out just like I did, huh? Dang.
Is that somebody's personal vehicle?
A man come all day.
Is that somebody's personal vehicle? Oh. Yeah. Be a nice vehicle to own, though. That would look like a nice vehicle to own. Yeah. You want to get to your roof, huh? Yeah, man. You know, you can get to your roof real quick. Pick the cherries, you know. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Heavy duty, you know. You can haul a lot of stuff. Oh yeah.
Can you hear me?
Hello, anybody here?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. I don't think he knows he's off the line.
I haven't. Did you start yet?
Oh, great. Can we all hear each other now?
I can hear you, Sean.
Yep.
Great. Are you just now hearing me for the first time? Because I was trying to talk.
Yeah, this is my first time hearing you.
Okay. Is there anybody else on the call?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. So the Maku's cell phone is saying no service. We just have to be patient. That was a really powerful recording there. Y'all heard that interference.
Yeah, real
Started playing.
real powerful.
Yeah, like the truth rules. Real powerful. So somehow I was able to unmute the calls. I'm trying to send my crew a Facebook message. Unfortunately, internet has stopped. Yeah, right, okay. And my computer, I was trying to use it at first to get on Facebook and communicate with him. My screen's just all black. It's not doing anything. So this is what it's about. Modern day slaves. That's what he said. Where is everybody else? There was a couple callers on here. I'm not hearing anybody. Did I get enough?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, can everybody hear me?
I can hear you, Sai.
Can I get a white power from everybody that's on the call, please?
White power, white power, white power.
Okay, because it says 15 callers. It's usually even more than that.
Yeah, I got knocked off earlier. Right after he got knocked off.
Yes. Let's see. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. So, the chief said tell everyone that his phone is saying emergency calls only. And he can only make an emergency phone call. Aaron screenshot the call. Is Aaron L there? Is Aaron L on the call? Greetings to the caller that just came on. The chief got knocked off. His phone is saying no service, and it was saying emergency calls only. Now he just sent me a message saying he's rebooting the phone. So hopefully he'll be back on momentarily. He started out with a very powerful recording of the samurai talking about how black people don't get any respect, not going to get any respect because they're just modern-day slaves. There was a lot of interference, and then he got knocked off. White power.
White power, white power, white power.
White power.
White power.
White power.
White power.
He trying to be.
Hotep, Sa, you still here?
I am.
You know, your introductory spiel, you know, I really like it. Do you have it written somewhere? Because I would keep that around the house and read it from time to time because it's true and it's humorous and it's to the point. And every time you read it, I like to hear your voice. It's really, you know, it inspires me. So.
Thank you. You said the intro?
Yeah, that really is. I mean, it's about the best intro I've heard in a while, yeah.
Wow, thank you. Yes. Is this Dakota?
Yeah, this is Dakota. I'm sorry.
Okay, I thought so. All right, so yeah, I'll post it to your page. I'll take a picture of it and post it on
okay.
your page. Certainly.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's one of the talents that I had thought about pursuing at one point too, because I always get comments about my voice. So voiceover is something that I had considered doing.
Yeah, well, I think that would have been great because I really like to hear your voice.
Yeah, people say that. It sounds funny. Or something like that, or soothing, you know, I don't know. But much appreciated. I'll get that to you. Yeah, we wrote that, I don't know now how many weeks we've been doing that, but it was after a couple of people just really started to crack up over, you know, the SF-181 is like the line in the sand, like you get with it or, you know, you're not existing in reality. So we had to make sure that people were warned about this side of things and the reality of it, and what would keep people from accepting what's being said is that if they fall into one of those categories listed there, it pretty much does cover all of the bases.
It does.
You know, between the money worshiping and the 5 monkey syndromes and the self-hate and all of that.
Yeah.
Some people like to not have solutions. They just want to be depressed. They enjoy misery like they enjoy slavery.
Yep.
Which is suffering from a mental illness, you know.
Yes, it is. You know, which I found interesting, the Chief had been talking to us about how the females are stepping up. You know, they're really the ones going to save us.
Mm-hmm.
And then next thing we know, this thing happens with Sandy. And
right.
It's just, I don't know, it's another one of those synchronicities, I guess. It's just, you know.
Indeed. I mean, I feel like it's to the point, we're past 10 lives here that have been taken, you know. How many marches and things can we do in honor of these people? Is like you'd have to run from one to the next as fast as these things keep happening.
Right.
You know? It started off with Trayvon, right? Where just the focus was on genocide from the police. And
Yep.
It's just been steamrolling ever since. Like every time you turn around now, it's another name.
I don't do that no more. How's that? Courtney. Yep.
Boy, the Chief just said that he's booting his phone again. It's his 5th time. They did not like that being in our mental, how they actually view Melaninites.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but anybody that's awake should already know this. They don't want the reality check.
Exactly. There's a difference between tolerance and acceptance. They only tolerate Nubians. And, you know, it's as if, it literally is as if, imagine there was this new race of beings that had gold and diamond encrusted in their skin, and they just glowed and shined. You would have some kind of jealousy. You know, you would feel like they had something more than you. Even if they didn't have a house, what's encasing them, their body, their shell, is worth something, you know? And that's the same thing as it is for melanin. It's going for $353 a gram, which is more than diamonds. You know, so the hate, the jealousy over melanin is really all that it is. It's really what it boils down to.
But the crazy part is they don't recognize it's an envy. They want to push it on us like we're the cause of it, but it's because of their lack of.
Right. You know, we historically have been a people that are the parents to civilization. Right. You know, we ruled with a hand of, you know, from a mindset of abundance and not scarcity. You know, they really operate off of scarcity and fear, domination, monopolies, capitalism. All of those things invoke there's not enough for me. And what there's not enough of for them is enough time in history to prove that they were part of original creation here, enough ability to withstand the sun's rays. You know, that's real, you know. So instead they alter our reality, like you just said, Dakota, and make us feel like we're the ones with an issue. That's why it doesn't take, you know, hating them or even needing to kill them unless it's in self-defense. All that would really drive them away is just not to mingle. Their whole monetary system is based off our energy.
Anarchy. Makunuba Atinat Sagara.
Let's give a clap and a white power. You made it back. Wow.
Okay, so we're back here. So I had to smudge the phone. Yeah, I'll let Aaron see here. I'm gonna put the smudge right in front of the screen. Can you see it? So just let me know when you got the screenshots. Okay. So Aaron just screenshotted me. I had to go get some grandfathers and smudge the phone.
Mm-hmm.
I took the battery out about 5 times, rebooted it, and I said, hold on, I need to smudge this. So as soon as I smudged it, the phone cleared up one time. Ahmed was there, saw it, Richard, Aaron. Ahmed was shocked. He was like, what? I said, see, cleared up one time. All right, so there's a part there that they're saying. I'm continuing with what we left off at. This is the link for those that don't have it. So here it is.
You do. You're front. And I'm quite frankly very tired of it. I really am. And I'm really tired of you asking me or any white person to show you respect when we owned you, raped your women, and fucking murdered your men, because there are no men in the black race, which is what the topic is, that black men are weak. And you want me to respect respect your culture? Wouldn't it be the other way around? Wouldn't you have to respect me? Yes. And in reality, do you? Yes. So I don't need to respect you. You need to respect me. Point blank, period. Other than that, I like to show respect because I'm a Southern gentleman and I show respect to everybody. I'm a nice guy out of the kindness of my heart. Just like when I fuck with niggas. I do it out of the kindness of my heart. I don't have to. No white person has to when they don't. I do. You should be where you're white for. Now you're trying to sideline me and put me in the sick razor. I mean, I just don't get it. Like, I mean, if you're talking royalties, dog, at this point, since you don't get views and you don't have a buzz, you're just a part of OVH. I would say that I should get like 90% of your royalties for any song I'm buying off of you.
Okay, somebody got to turn their microphone down because I'm hearing reverb. So people who are on both phone and Skype, please turn your volumes down. So everybody on Skype, turn your mic off.
I hear the song.
All right.
That's number one. Number two, you say you could sell the songs for more than $1,000. No, you can't, or you wouldn't be broken fucked up. So that's a lie. So let's get to the real shit. You could sell me that song for a much cheaper price. Seriously, your songs aren't worth but what, $100 to $200 max? I'm trying to get into y'all fucking shit. I'm trying to fuck with OBH because I'm a hood nigga.
Damn. I'm telling you. That is some shit right there. White power. Can anybody hear me?
White power.
White power.
Right, great.
Rahat, we continue.
It's all bullshit. ARM is the big cow I'm trying to milk over there. So, you don't get hundreds of thousands of people.
Okay, somebody got to turn their microphone off on Skype.
He gets that occasionally. So, basically, we can put on the easy gangster shades for this shit. Basically, nigga, I want to speak to ARM. I don't want to talk to none of these other bitch-ass niggas who are disrespectful on a phone, which they will never do to my face because they could catch a fucking bullet in their mouth. I'm tired of y'all kicking shit you're not about. I have all the history of being about it. You niggers don't. What do you niggers have? History of getting fucked up, and shot up. Right? Yeah, because that's all you do is get fucked up and talk shit on YouTube. So you don't get rewarded for that. I'm not going to reward you for that. As a matter of fact, fuck the deal, nigga. And again, you could sell me your shit from $100 to $200, Razor, and give me 90% of the royalties of each song. That's the only deal I'll do at this point. Other than that, ARAB, I'm willing to negotiate terms with you. I want it to be a beneficial deal for me. It's not going to be no chump change on royalties. I want more royalties. I want royalties on your music, and what that does is it establishes that basically you're an artist underneath my label. That's the next part. Fuck OBH. I don't want to be teaming up with OBH. I was trying to be nice. Fuck you niggas. When you try to be nice, these niggas take your kindness for weakness. So fuck OBH. You can come to my label, ARAB, Guns Below Records, some real shit, dog. You can come to Guns Below Records and basically get taken care of. You choose, nigga. How about that? We'll make that the the opportunity, nigga. You can work on my terms and listen to me, and you can be under my label, Guns Galore Records. All right? You will no longer be fucking with OPH. Okay? Period. So I'm tired of niggas playing bougie. It just doesn't make any sense. It's like they have a pussy between their legs. Like, dog, you ain't got nothing that I want. You don't. There's a million niggas like you stuck on the block rapping. There's only one of me. I want you to remember that. What I offered you and I'm offering you is an opportunity. That does not mean I need you. You need me, like you said. I have to tell you right here, niggas. Niggas don't believe me. Fuck out of here, man. Niggas. Shit is fucking ridiculous, dog. It really is. It is fucking ridiculous. Let's see here.
He's just finding his text message.
I don't know if you can read it.
You have nothing he wants, but yet he needs your music to make money.
But you'll see, it says, we kind of need you, bro. When I was going the fuck off.
Because he has no creativity.
Can you hold, whoever's speaking, can they please hold their comment?
In the world, it works differently when you get to a certain tax bracket. Nickel. So, again, ARAB, you can leave Goonie Gang, whose symbol is a skull, which is the demonic symbol of Satan, meaning that you all already sold your soul already. Bitch nigga, which is why you should subscribe to Boss Tycoon Radio so you can understand that you're all selling your fucking soul and how this works, nigga, and understand who's who and who to show respect to, bitch-ass nigga. Because I'm Illuminati and God to you, nigga. Fuck the Illuminati. I own them. I get paid by 10 major oil companies. How the fuck am I not over them if their companies pay me? Fuck out of here. So again, pussies. ARAB can reach out to me and contact me. Y'all have my number. ARAB, I want to speak to ARAB, nobody else. If ARAB wants to fuck with me, cool. If you don't want to fuck with me, don't call me. And we good, nigga, because again, there's a million of you, there's one of me. I want you to remember that. Like I said, you want to sign with me, it'll be with Guns Galore Records. We will do it on my terms. The signing is going to be different. It's going to be real street nigga shit. It is not going to be what you're used to because the way we're making money is not the way you're used to, and you got to fuck with me on a street level. Okay? Basically, I'm going to be the street nigga who I have you under my wing. And I'm going to explain to you how this shit is going to work. Period.
So now this is all relevant. And it also explains the disruptions that we were having earlier. Again, this just proves that the weekly address is having an effect. This proves the weekly address is true. This proves the weekly address is causing changes within the matrix. Otherwise, they wouldn't spend so much time jamming me, telling me that I can only accept emergency calls, that, I lost wireless and all this type of stuff. Meanwhile, I'm still on the internet, so we know what that's about. But I like this Samurai. I really do, because he's telling Nubians straight to their face, this is the deal. Like I said last week, they have a new show out called The Underground, talking about the importance of the Underground Railroad. They're not doing nothing progressive. Now we see Will Smith and who's the other one? Jay-Z are doing a Emmett Till mini-series on Emmett Till. And again, nobody is doing anything outside the confines of the matrix. They're doing everything in the past. That's programming. So I just wanted to play that because that is going to set the pace for today. And exactly, he's telling you straight up, he ain't getting blocked, he ain't getting kicked off, nothing's happened. He's got, according to the YouTube, 5,557 hits. 103 are putting thumbs down, 6 are up. This was uploaded on July 13th of Ricky Ugly. So whether it's real or whether it's a play or just a nice little, skit, regardless of that, there isn't anything in there that he said that was not true pertaining to Nubians in the Western Hemisphere and the world over. So it's time to put up, shut up. Or as I say, put up, shut up, or shut the fuck up. So with that, we are going to go to questions for this week. We're going to start international women first and the men. Then we're going to go east to west as always. So let's see here. Make sure, okay, everybody's unmuted. So any women in the weekly address that from the out in international, we're not doing east to west coast yet, international, any women international, so that would be Kenya, that would be Trinidad and Tobago if they're still there because of the volcano, that would be Venezuela, the Papua New Guinea, England, Ireland, Spain, France. Any women in those time zones that have a question that are on the call, that have a question, going once, you can feel free to ask their question now. Going once. Any women internationally, going twice.
Hey, turn this light off in here.
Any women internationally, going 3 times. All right, any men internationally, so that would be Nigeria, South Africa, that would be Spain, Malta, Ireland, Ecuador, Panama, Peru, Cuba. Any men internationally, Hawaii, Samoa, any men internationally that have a question on this call. Going once, international men. Going twice, international men. Going 3 times, international men. All right. So we're going to go Eastern time zone now. Any women on the call in the Eastern time zone that have a question? So that's Toronto, Florida, Georgia, West Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina. Any women that are on the call in the Eastern time zone that have a question? Going once. Any women in the Eastern time zone going twice? Any women in the Eastern time zone going times?
Yeah. Hotep, Chief.
Hotep.
This is Dakota.
Greetings, Dakota.
I know everybody's still a little upset about what happened to Sandy, and I was just wondering, what's your thoughts on it?
I don't have any thoughts. Black has no standing at law. So until they want to deal with the SF-181, until they want to talk about the integrated post-secondary education data system, until they want to talk about 1857 Dred Scott, until they want to talk about the fact that the Constitution is frozen in and voided in the courts, which means once the Constitution is voided, that means what? The amendments to the Constitution are also voided. Until those issues are discussed and the definition of what the true definition of white is, you can forget about it. Notice this, Dakota. So over the year I've been doing this, and I've been telling people in different cities, okay, some of you know, hey, if there's anybody who's quote-unquote grassroots conscious or whatever, tell them about the SF-181, the iPads, etc. They don't call back. They don't discuss it. They don't talk about it. You notice this, right?
Yes.
You're a secure party. They want to contract as slaves. I don't have no feeling toward that. It is a shame. However, I did see the picture she had where she was wearing a Pharaoh shirt, and I did see that and all that stuff. And, that's fine. But the thing is, until that, the discussion and the fact that Barack said black has no standing at law is finally put to the fire of all the so-called civil rights, and that's Dick Gregory, Cornel West, Black Panther Party, old Black Panther Party, new Black Panther Party, Assata Shakur, whoever's still left. All of them have to explain, okay, this is what the government is saying. What is their take on that? Do they believe that is sound? They can't dispute it because they all got Social Security numbers. You follow what I'm saying?
Yes.
So getting upset is, again, I've talked about this on the weekly address, which was this 61 and 60, dealing with the silent weapons for quiet wars, right?
Right.
And so now, people do not want responsibility. Just like this Amorite young cat that I just played, and he said niggers talk about their culture all day long and don't give no respect and don't get no respect. He said, I don't have to. He said, I'm white. I don't have to give you any respect. You have to respect me. I don't have to respect you. So now the question is, if it is brought to the mother's attention, and I get suspicious when she's on Al Sharpton's MSNBC program, again, she's like, educate yourself, know your rights. I can agree with that. Now, the thing is, again, we have to deal with what? SF-181 and everything else that connects to that. You follow?
Right.
So there will be more stuff going on, and I've found it odd why they would broadcast her funeral on the internet. But again, if this is not a black ops and not a false flag, and they publish that out there, again, it still doesn't change the fact black has no standing at law.
Well, that's kind of like what they're telling us every time we see something like that.
Yeah, but the thing is, what are the so-called black leaders who supposedly, what are they saying about it? Nothing.
They evade the issue. Yeah.
They don't talk. Where is Tavis Smiley? Where is Cornel West? Where is Dr. Cress Welsing?
Hello.
Right? I'm calling all the top dogs. I was like, nah, this is BS now. What do you intellectuals have to say, you bourgeois Negroes have to say about this? Nothing. So that means they have sold out. What did the Amorite boy just say? He said, you guys already sold your soul. Telling you there in the video.
Yes, he did.
So I speak the living amongst the dead. That's her contract, not mine. That's her contract. Is that your contract?
No, that's not my contract.
Okay. Now, where was the funeral held?
I don't know. I didn't see it, Chief.
No. Was it held in a church?
I don't know because, I wasn't on Facebook.
No, it was held in a church.
Was it? Okay.
It was held in a church. Okay. Right? So since it's held in the church, who does the church fall under?
The Vatican.
Okay. So therefore, it falls under the U.S., which is a corporation.
Mm-hmm.
So there they go again, like rats or gerbils on a wheel, running in circles, going nowhere.
Going nowhere. Okay.
Anything else?
No, I think that's it. Unless you want to comment on Farrakhan telling soldiers to desert.
Because Farrakhan is listening to my weekly address. That's why. Farrakhan can't talk about me, and he shouldn't say. If he's saying that, he better tell his son. If his son's not that police chief anymore, then he needs to tell his son to stop being a police. And some of the members of Nation Islam that are in law enforcement that are part of the police department, he needs to do that too.
Same difference, right?
Right? He tells them to desert. You cannot free people into nothing. You have to free people into something. Telling them to desert to do what? Because they are all listening to our weekly address. The weekly addresses I do. I had 2 restricted calls this morning. I forwarded that to he who's got the email. So one call listened for 37, the other one listened for about 67 minutes. So the whole point of it is again, Nation of Islam, Farrakhan, Moore Science Temple, Great Seal, all these guys can't stand me, Polite, Sovereign Suit and Seti the General, all of them is talking all this smack, but they listening. Red Pill, Blue Pill, High Frequency, who's the other one down in Atlanta? The one that, what's his name, Jonah Bey, Yafa Bey, Queen Valera, what's her name, Priestess Amen Radon. All of them are listening. What's her name, Monticello. homegirl, what's her name, Don Nicoleone, all of them is listening. They all playing game out here. I take this stuff serious. You trying to free people, you have to get to the source of the problem. They're not touching that because they're doing what? They're worshiping the fiat.
Okay.
So that's it. So that thing, and then Farrakhan, they're going, in October for celebrating the 20 million march 20 years ago. I said, you're all the U.S. slaves going to the master like you're going to do something. You ain't uprising, you ain't doing nothing. That's what that is. But for him to tell the soldiers to desert is a confession. Farrakhan is listening to my weekly address, and it's also a confession that he went and looked up the General Orders 100 and looked under Article 33. So don't tell them to desert, Farrakhan. Tell them that if they work for the U.S. corporation and the U.S. gets pulled up on war crimes, guess who's going to get stung? Every black officer in law enforcement. Here's another diamond for you all out there. And then when they want to say they're black and African American, or if they want to say that they were taking orders, they'll say no, because Barack Obama told you all black has no standing at law. Alan West, with his big mouth down in Florida, said yes, that the president is just the CEO of this corporation called the United States of America, and said he was in the military for 20 years, so he committed treason for 20 years. And he said that on Fox News, right in front of y'all. What did you all do? Nothing. Not you, Dakota. I'm talking the ones who say that they're part of America, the great.
Great.
And then the definition of America is the copper-colored races. Has nothing to do with no corporation. You follow?
Yeah, I follow.
So they can say anything they want. They're playing games. That lean on the White House, the lean I have on the Vatican, all of that. They all caught off guard. All of them. Hebrew Israelites, the Nuwabians, all of them are caught off guard. I said because y'all really were worshiping the fiat. That's why. So when we talk about dismantling the golden goose, like I really say, it's the imaginary goose that doesn't exist. Don't say that stuff. That's like saying poison to them. They get upset. Meanwhile, the Federal Reserve is saying it has no value except for what it will buy. You're not really buying anything anyway. You're just discharging a debt because you can't pay a debt with the debt instrument. Right. So that's all that is there, Dakota. So they don't want to give me credit. No, that's not a problem. Nation of Islam can hop in a boat and float out to the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Moorish Science Temple number 13 in Baltimore, they can hop on a boat since they're master navigators, and they can float out in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Great Seal, Taj, Nakim Bey, Hakim Bey, the Mexican Moorish Empire, all of them can hop in a boat, hop out there, and get rid of the Atlantic Ocean. Because all of them keep forgetting I have an export declaration and we have a lien on the U.S. Post Office. That means every transaction that goes on, I'm supposed to be getting compensated and I'm not getting it. That doesn't mean my claims are not valid. Doesn't mean I won't get compensated. This is saying that you guys owe me. And as long as they're doing business on Turtle Island, Atlan, Mulan, and the world over, they owe me. And if they want, well, where's your, what verification, what evidence do you have? That's quite simple. That's an easy one. All I have to do is go to the article right here on Reuters, Saturday, July 11th, which is when we did the last week's weekly address, which was the update, where in Bolivia, Pope Francis I, otherwise known, corporately known as Jorge Mario Bergoglio, in Bolivia said he urged the downtrodden to change the world economic order, denouncing a new colonialism by agencies that impose austerity programs and calling for the poor to have the, quote, sacred rights of labor, lodging, and land. So when you read it between the lines, he's acknowledging the export declaration that I did, the liens that I did, and the fact that this is Atlantis. And I let him and his predecessor knew this before. So what does this mean in a nutshell? It means you all got to talk to me. You don't have a choice. All those groups that I've mentioned don't have a choice. As long as they're dabbling in fiat and they're trying to talk about law, well, guess what? My claim is superior, the superior claim on the planet. Anything else, Dakota?
You know, you when you started talking about the Pope, it started really breaking up.
Oh, yes, I know they didn't like that. I'll repeat myself. I don't have a problem with that. In Bolivia, the Pope urged the downtrodden to change the world economic order, denouncing a new colonialism by agencies that impose austerity programs, calling for the poor to have sacred rights of labor, lodging, and land. So what I'm saying, Dakota, is that I got the green light from the Pope to change the world economic order. Because why would he say that? Because I have an active claim on the Vatican. You follow?
Follow.
So that means all these guys out here talking, they got some, ain't got nothing. I just spoke with, if he was on, Hebrew Montreal, please send me the registered cards you got back from the Vatican and Elizabeth. Please resend that to me. And then what I will do is I'll give that to everybody because he sent his statutory declaration to Elizabeth, the Vatican, and who was the other one? Well, he sent it to Barack. So he got all his registered green cards back. That is a process that I told people to, certain people read in between the lines, and they did it. That was originating from me. So since the Vatican rejected mine but accepts theirs, the Vatican is now in what? Universal commercial dishonors. Everybody getting that? So I accept his apology for value, honor, and consideration with full reservation of my indigenous rights and full reservation of the indigenous rights of Atsakata Nation of Yamasee Moors now and eternally. So now, Pope Francis, break open the vaults and give us back our stuff. I need to inspect your bank. I need to look at your books. I need to see if you got underneath St. Peter's Square. This address is prima facie evidence of that. Anything else, Dakota?
No, I think that's it.
All right, white power.
White power. Thank you, Chief.
All right, any other woman in the Eastern Time Zone that has a question?
Greetings.
Greetings.
Yes, this is Maisha.
Greetings, Maisha.
Hello. I'm just listening this week.
You're just what?
I'm just listening in this week. I don't really have a question.
Okay, well, that's what we want, questions. So any questions you have, so that's beautiful that you're online and you're listening in, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Any other woman in the Eastern Time Zone on the call that has a question? Last woman. Going once. Going twice. 3 times. All right, so any man in the Eastern Time Zone that has a question?
Hota Chief.
That's who's this?
Amun.
Amun, greetings. Uteka, Rahuat.
Rahuat Chief. My question is, what I'm about to read here, I want to know, can I publish this and would I have to get it notarized? So I'm gonna proceed. To the world and all agents, we are indigenous and are not afraid of you. Our ancestors are here with guidance for the Anunnaki children. This is a phone call with Jack Kazaz and James Spann, corporately known. Check this out. On 7/20/15 at 1:10 fake time, Jack Kazaz called James Spann, corporately known as and now known as Amun Nitiru. Jack wanted to know if he can schedule a house visit with my son Osiris Hayward and Osiris' mother, Unique Hayward, corporately known as, that name now known as Ambi Allen, to have him Osiris blood level checked. I told him, you got an email of the violations of our indigenous rights. He said, never got it. I stated, it was no problem with the email, so the health department got it. So I proceeded to read the violations. He said, I don't understand this. Why is this happening? I stated, because you are a program that don't recognize this truth, and you are forcing yourself to make me give my son a blood test. Also, he stated, I am not getting this. I stated.
Hold on, I'm going to stop you right now.
Okay.
What is the question? Because you're testifying.
Okay. The question is, can I publish this?
Well, do you have your statutory declaration sent out yet?
No, not as of yet.
Then you can't.
Okay.
Listen, let me explain something to everybody. And I'm doing this, as civilly as possible, and I think I'm being clear about this. You all are not in the position to outthink or outfox them in the contracts that you're under. So when I say you do your SF-181, boom. You do your statutory declaration, I proof it, I say, hey, go ahead, get it done. So if you have it, if it's ready and you haven't notarized it yet, you can't do that because who are you going to be sending it off to? The governor of New York. Let me explain something to you. You see the delay we had for this last hour?
Yes.
Right? You see that delay we had in me trying to play this audio?
Yes.
I keep telling you all this. They are listening. This is why MSTA is going to find out the hard way. They're going to come with that nonsense, and they're going to get smacked, and then they'll tell them, yeah, you should have listened to Chief Nanya Shaabu Eil. He told y'all, but y'all don't want to listen. You still want to be Negroes. I'm telling you all, they are listening to my message. They will put a crew to sit there, and then what's in front of them is one thing. Then they're going to start getting into a metaphysical aspect and say, this guy has put out so much information on one piece of paper. Nah, something else is going on behind the scenes. That's what they're going to want to look into. You cannot shortcut. If you're trying to beat a time frame in terms of being ahead of them, then you do what you know you're supposed to be doing. I don't care if you email me during the week or call me during the week, that's not an issue. Because I can see you trying to get it done. You follow?
Follow, Chief.
So don't think for 1 second that they are not listening. The same way I get all the phone calls and know who everyone's calling, with the exception of those that are anonymous, unavailable, or restricted, they will get access to all your numbers. And y'all got to stop thinking you're going to outslick them. You're not going to do that. The devil is the master of that stuff. That's what y'all going up against, a master of lying. You have to be the master of what? Facts and truth. Right. And you're not doing yourself, right? Because the phone's getting low on this phone, which is funny. I have you on speaker, and I'm like, well, I'm having a hard time hearing him. So the thing I'm saying here is this. You cannot put the cart before the horse. You know you don't have that position covered. You can't go jump ahead. Because then they're going to ding you for that. So if you know it's going to take you want to work between tonight and tomorrow and then get that ready for Monday, cool, ain't nothing wrong with that. But the point I'm saying here is you cannot go off. I'm giving people a very simple format. When people cannot follow simple instructions, then they are confirming that the programming they're under is obstructing their ability to say, okay, because people ask, this is why we're doing the address. Well, what do we need to do? Okay, here's what you need to do. Guys at the SF-181, then guys turn around and start talking UCC. They don't have their statutory declaration or their claims done, and they don't have them published. And I'm trying to tell them, I'm doing this. This is a way for you guys to get your stuff done effectively, securely, and safely. Now, if they don't want to listen to me, that's fine, because I'll be just like the one guy called in, and he did his stuff wrong and said, well, what do I do? I said, well, who told you to do that? He said, well, I did. I said, oh, but you're calling, so what are you calling me for? You follow?
Follow, Chief.
So what I'm saying is, you know the steps that you need to take. Once you get your statutory declaration, it doesn't mean that you can't do that. I'm saying get your declaration in first. Because if there is a controversy that comes up, guess who you get to call as a witness?
Governor.
Okay, so once you've communicated with the governor, they can't sit there and play dumb with you because you're like, look, okay, we've already established, thanks to Lisa Madigan, who's the Attorney General for Illinois, and said human rights applies where? All levels of government, correct?
Correct, Chief.
So therefore, she is a third-party witness to the fact that what they said, the U.S. said at the Universal Periodic Review of the United States of America in Switzerland, they're telling the world we're going to adhere to human rights. But then why are you treating so-called blacks different? Because black is not a race, it has no standing, so they're not obligated to have to look out for your best interest. They will do damage control for the purposes of business. You follow?
Follow, Chief.
But now when you start getting into, okay, this is what my family lineage is, this is what my nationality is, and I can claim my indigenous standing because there are presidential executive orders that allow for that. That changes the whole game now, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so you have to get your ducks in a row properly. So you've done your SF-181, they know that. Get your statutory declaration done. Now, if I still need to look over it, then let me know. But as far as I recall, I proofed that for you already. Is it? And it's done, isn't it?
Yes, it's done, Chief. I was just waiting on the notary, and she wasn't in.
Okay, well, yeah, this is how it happens sometimes. But the thing is, get that done. And I got the email from Unique for Asaru's stat declaration. I'll proof that over the weekend.
Okay.
So while you do yours, and you know who's the most important statutory declaration that has to get done, Unique got to get hers done.
Yeah, she sent you hers, Chief.
So I need to proof that for her?
Yeah, you need to approve of that.
Okay, because I see Osiris's. Where is hers hiding? What is this one here? Modifications. Okay, this is the affidavit. Okay, the affidavit I'm seeing. Okay, this is your affidavit, and I gave you the highlights because there were some things that you need to fix on that.
Correct.
Okay, this is Unique's July 20th?
Yes.
Okay, good. I see it here. Okay, so I'll look it over. Let's see so far. Okay, make sure the margins are narrow, though, but I'll fix that up because it's, okay, the Jurat is fine. Yeah, this is looking good, actually. Let me see, okay, yeah, she should put Title 18 USC Section 9, so I can fix that up. But so far, everything looks good, but I'll look it over. I don't like to rush stuff.
Okay.
So once you get that done, then you can publish it, the email that you were making reference to.
Okay.
And anything that they present to you, you have the Gene Keating, accept it, return it back, along with the HCR 194 and the apology from the Pope. You have that, right?
Yes, I do, Chief.
Okay, so when you go get your stuff, your statutory declaration notarized, you'll have HCR 184 and the apology from the Pope, and that'll be notarized. That has to be together. You can't add it afterward.
Okay.
Anything else?
No, Chief.
Okay, so everything is going fine. It's just that you got to make sure that you're doing your stuff accordingly.
Oh, man.
I can't.
Oh.
I didn't get that.
Pardon?
Repeat that, Chief.
Yeah, I said you got to make sure you. Well, you can thank my secret admirers for that.
Yeah, I was saying. I was trying to say I couldn't hear you.
I said you're on the right path. Everything's fine. So you just make sure, but get that statutory declaration done, and I will get that out to Unique on Monday.
Okay.
All right. White power.
White power.
Any other man in the Eastern Time Zone that has a question? From Toronto, Maine, Quebec, Georgia, Florida, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, Rhode Island. Any man on the Eastern Time Zone that has a question? Going once.
Greetings.
Greetings.
This is Todd Tep from Tacoma.
Tahotep Rahu'at.
Yes, I want to ask, did you get the email, my statutory claim, and the response in PDF form?
Yes, I did, and this is a standard. I got 3 of those in that standard week. This week that were standard. What is happening is they know that statutory claim has got the IRS in a very serious position in terms of genocide.
Right.
And it's the same. It's a standard response. They're saying the same thing because you're not the only one. I had one of the secure parties on the training that I trained. He had gotten a letter back from them the same type, and it was funny because they never addressed anything in the claim.
No, they just kept saying frivolous.
Just like they didn't address anything in your claim either.
No.
Meanwhile, anybody goes on YouTube, what are you going to see? You're going to see the commissioner the former commissioner admit that taxes is what? Voluntary.
Right.
Does anybody grasp the seriousness of that statement? And since the IRS is underneath the International Monetary Fund, that's genocide. And once you've claimed your indigenous standing, that's theft of land. That's rape. That's international rape. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm getting it.
And so what does this mean? This means that this would probably also explain why Elizabeth left Buckingham Palace. Because they're afraid a whole bunch of you nignogs. That's what the Queen Mother called black people, nignogs. She said they're probably afraid a whole bunch of you nignogs will start writing her with the same information, so she had to break camp.
Right. And so where can they go on Turtle Island? Won't they have to start going underground now?
They can go underground. That could be a tune for them. And it depends. And where are they going and where they go underground? Like, for example, Trinidad and Tobago right now is under, I didn't even check this morning, which I should have. I'll check right now. Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, St. Vincent, Martinique, I forget the other country. It was under a underwater volcano watch.
Wow.
Right, a lot of people don't. Let's see, Trinidad under storm. I guess no, it's not storm watch. It's they said they're in danger of a tsunami. And if it's real bad, it can go as far as Puerto Rico.
Wow.
South America.
Yeah, Puerto Rico. I'm talking Puerto Rico. Yeah, 725. I'll put the link here. It's called. I don't know who is the sociopath. They called it Kickum Jenny. That's what it's called. Caribbean on watch after Kickum Jenny volcano comes to life near Grenada. So all those in the Grenadines, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and all those in the Barbados and whatnot, that was 725. So that's today again. So they have volcanic activity underneath the water of this volcano. A day ago, reports of new activity at a Caribbean island volcano appeared across multiple news outlets. The volcano known as Kickum Jenny, located north of the Caribbean island Grenada, is showing signs of imminent eruption.
Wow.
So let me see here. I'm just going to go to the original one here.
It's going to erupt on the 1st.
An undersea volcano located in the Caribbean islands has been placed on alert for eruption. The active seafloor volcano known as Kickum Jenny I mean, it's not funny, but I'm just like, that's a bad name to be calling a volcano Kick'em Jenny, because it's like you expecting her to do some damage. It's showing signs of new eruption, prompting officials to issue warnings for the area. I find it highly ironic. This is the link I just gave everybody, that Kick'em Jenny is now erupting since there was just an M6.5 earthquake due east of this location on July 17th. So there was an earthquake July 17th, which was last Friday, and now they have the volcano. They got the volcano because, again, volcanoes are all interconnected. So when the earthquake struck this past week, the video explanation showed the nearby volcanoes and specifically addressed possible new eruptions which could take place. So when you see the link, you'll see where it shows where Kick'em Jenny is, and then they have one called Kick'em Jack. I don't name them. This is what they called it. So they said, since its discovery in the 1930s, Kick'em Jenny has erupted beneath the surface of the Caribbean Sea at least 12 times, most recently in 2001. The volcano, which rises 1,300 meters or 4,265 feet above the sea floor on a steep slope of the Lesser Antilles Ridge, hasn't caused any known deaths or injuries. The Seismic Research Center at the University of the West Indies said seismic activity had increased in the volcano, which sits 8 kilometers or 5 miles north of Grenada. Recreational divers have reported seeing some degassing on the seafloor off Grenada's west coast as gas-rich magma bubbles. So that just goes to show you that, we're going through earth changes. So they had an evacuation order with a potential tsunami, so we'll see what happens in the next couple of days, and that's major. Question. I got kind of a bit sidetracked. So was it any other question?
Are you ever going to, is this address ever going to move to the new conference call and access code?
Well, I have to call the company to find out why I can't call in, because you all can call in, I just can't. So they'll probably have to give, this number that I call is not the same number you all get. I have to call a side number thanks to the Canadian Telecoms.
Right. Okay.
So we'll see what happens, with that. Like I said, the delays and the obstruction that we had, it's not a major issue to me. What this does, it confirms that the weekly address is true.
Right.
And that should be self-evident for anybody, because all the other people I've mentioned, they don't have these type of major technical issues.
Spider didn't die.
Nope.
Anything else?
Oh, no, that's it.
Oh, did you get into the Dr. Cresswell thing? Did they let you into the group?
When I have to try again, because when I went to the library, I sent you the statutory claim. I put it on Facebook, and then I had like 10 minutes left in the library, and the Wi-Fi cut off. So I have to probably go tomorrow and try to get in.
Yeah, see if you could get in that closed group for the Dr. Cresswell thing. I know some people who have gotten in already, and we'll see what happens if there will be any comment. I don't expect any comment from Dr. Cresswell thing, so I'm not holding my breath and I'm not waiting. I keep going forward. She issued the challenge. I answered it. She got nothing to say. That's it. Leper supremacy is number one.
Right.
All right. Hotep, white power.
White power.
Any other man Eastern time zone that's got a question? Going once, Eastern time zone, Toronto, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, West Virginia, Delaware. Any man in Eastern time zone has a question? Going once. Eastern time zone, men going twice. Eastern time zone, men going 3 times. All right, so we move on to Central time zone. That's Winnipeg, that's Saskatoon, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Kansas, Western Tennessee, Alabama. Louisiana. Somebody got to turn their audio. There you go. Much appreciated. Oh, I'm still getting the echo.
Major.
So,
That's where you got feedback.
yeah, somebody was getting feedback, Major. So I don't know. Like I said, we'll just have to. Okay, that sounds like it's better now.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Central Time Zone. Any women in the Central Time Zone? Wisconsin, Kansas, Oklahoma, Nebraska, Illinois. Going once. Any women? Yes. Any women in the Central Time Zone? Going twice. Any women in the Central Time Zone? Going 3 times. Did I hear a hotep from a woman? Okay. So any men, Central Time Zone. Texas, Louisiana, Alabama, Wisconsin.
Hello. Hello. Greetings, Chief.
Yes, so what time zone are you calling from?
Central.
Okay, and where are you calling from?
Chicago. This is Richard.
Chi-Town, the Windy City. Who am I speaking to?
This is Richard.
Greetings.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you clear.
Okay, good. Got a question for you. The recording that you played earlier.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, the recording that can you tell us that for us?
Oh, you're going in and out. I guess that is different. Say that again, please.
Okay. The recording that you played for us earlier. Can you explain why you played that for us?
Oh, quite simple. What did Paul Mooney used to say? You have a lot of people who Emirates say it to your face, so now here it is, he's saying it. This is exactly how he feels. This is how we operate. That's why I played it. He's so raped women. There are no men out there. There are no black men out there. I've been saying that for a year before he even said it. So, again, how are people thinking?
I know. Somebody turned down their microphone.
Are you there?
Turn down their microphone.
Yeah, well, I don't know who it is. Well, here's what I'll do. I know what I'll do. I'm going to mute out and then come back, all right?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. You go ahead and talk. Yeah, that's why I muted out on the call. But I'm not getting the feedback. It's not coming from you.
Right? And now they start audio. So if you can hear me, put up one finger. Okay, so you can hear me. Good. So, again, the question that I was asking you about the reason that you played the audio earlier. And again, I can't hear you, but I can speak. So what I'm going to ask is that basically what we were told is that we need to understand that, first of all, we're seen as inferior. We're still seen as chattel property. What I want to ask all the brothers on here, because pretty much, and I'm from Chicago, so you know the deal with Chicago. I'm asking every brother on here now, you listening to rap, listening to hip hop, and now you understand who's running the industry. So if you are still supporting that industry, regardless of the lyrics that are coming out of that music, you know who's running it. And you know who you're really giving your support to. So what I'm asking is all these brothers that are so hard, you from the hood, you hard, you gangster, you this and that, you so ready to bust a cap in your brother over some nonsense. How come you're not ready to go bust a cap in that white boy over what you now know? I'm done.
And the answer to that, what you're saying, and I can sense where that's coming from, Richard, it comes back again to the P word, programming. This is if you want to think of it as a giant psychological experiment. So from the time, what did they say? If you have an animal that, and they did this, they've done this in examples where they have said they will get like a duck and have we'll get a baby duck that's in an egg, it hasn't hatched yet. They'll hatch it, and then they'll have a toy duck that's made out of cotton, made out of material. And then they said when that duck hatches, that duck will instantly bond to that, even though that's an inanimate object, and the baby duck has no idea that duck made out of cotton or out of material is not real. So a lot of it again is what? Programming. Go watch the movie for those who have not seen it, Bamboozled. And in there, the guy said, who is the record producer that Damon Wayans was trying to get out of his contract, and said, I'll write a show so bad they'll fire me, and instead of firing him, it took off and became a success. So in there, the producer said, well, my wife is black, so that means my children are biracial, so I feel I'm entitled to say the word nigger. Deep, isn't it? So again, and then toward the end of the movie, when they flipped the script and weren't dressed up, and the guy said, cut the tape, stop recording, stop. He said, what do you think? He said, I told you, I know your people better than you do. Look, like I said, this is another way of looking at it as a giant science experiment or a giant psychological experiment. Once you get a generation of children that are being programmed incorrectly, they are going to transfer the programming onto their children and onto their children's children, etc. Let's see here. Tiger, I want to add you. Can you send me a request, because I have your other appellation and it's not letting me. So let me see here, and I'll see if I want to add you to the call. Okay, yeah. Okay, now I'm adding you to the group call, Tiger, so you're added. So this is what I'm saying. So yeah, I could see the frustration that you have, Richard. However, it comes back again to programming. Barack said it the best. Black has no standing at law. Cornel West hasn't said anything. All the so-called black intellectuals said nothing. So that means they know that they're selling their own out for fiat. Plain and simple.
Right. And Chief, I don't want to give the impression that I'm coming down on my brothers and sisters at all. That's not it. What I'm suggesting is that, and this goes for me, is in our day-to-day lives as we're dealing with each other. What I've noticed is that we will deal with each other far more harshly than we will deal with those who are our enemies.
Programming.
I've been in the corporate world. I've been in the corporate world.
So have I. So have I.
Yeah, I'm not discounting that. I'm just giving you an example. I know that I've actually had more Amorite lepers that have given me a chance and that have offered me and given me jobs and have paid me than brothers that look just like me or even darker. They gave me a hassle and wouldn't give me a chance. So then you tell me well, I'm supposed to go around knowing that that's the enemy, but you're the same one that won't give me a chance. So what I'm saying for all of us on a day-to-day basis is we need to start looking inside. When you see that man that looks like you, and you're ready to assume that he's going to do you harm, why don't you just think, who is the real enemy? Like you just told us, a lot of it is mind manipulation. A lot of it is that quote-unquote, we call it a cliche now, but that Willie Lynch syndrome. So when you're walking down the street and you see that brother and you're ready to mean mug him because he's a brother, but then on the same hand, if you go downtown, you go into the white store and then you're going to shuffle and shine for the white boy to treat you well. I'm just saying, because this is going worldwide.
I understand that. I understand that. Hold on. No, I'm interjecting for a second here.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
We cannot lose sight of the fact. Is it really the reaction a cause or an effect? Because I see it where I could be on the train and I'll see a sister come by and she'll walk past 5 seats and sit away from me. And so, and I sit there and
it's both, Chief.
I said, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold on 1 second. I'm interjecting for a reason. This is not here to convince, as we stated before in the beginning. This is for those that's awake, for those that are going to hear, and as well as the issue being, because we know the issue with Chicago, and we know what's going on, because I've been to Chicago, I've been to the south side of Chicago, I've been there, I've been in Indiana, so I know. So the thing here is this. We have to start getting to not just looking only at, okay, the way that Nubians are interacting with each other. The first thing we look at and you see that, you've got to assess, programming. Okay, I get it, because then you're going to be less apt to be upset. You already anticipate the interaction and the response. So where you would get a break from somebody who's not assisted, who doesn't look like you were, and then those who look like you give you the hardest hassle, it is attributed to programming. And that is something that has to be acknowledged that, okay, if they're acting a certain way, and I've said this before, there's an ocean of dead out here. Not a sea, an ocean of mentally dead out here. And so the thing here is, again, like we talked before privately, 2-minute window. From the time you see they're coming with that programming, it's like, forget it. There's no point in getting worked up or upset about it. You accept that it's programming, and okay, now you pose to them, okay, think about it. Now you should be, my suggestion, rather than posing, because I've heard that same conversation before, why are you doing your brother the same way? It's like, no, we're not brothers. They're on contract. This is where commerce comes into play. If they have a situation where they would sell you out, or by them pushing you down, they get up, they will do it. And your evidence is your Cornell Wests, your Dr. Cresswell Sings, your Umar Johnsons, your all of that. So the reality of it is, it's commerce. We agree on that. They're on contract at this point now. So you can't. And I'll quote them since I like the Bible so much. What did Jesus say? My family are those who do as I do. So no, they're not brothers, because if they got to sell you out to get ahead, they'll do it. That is the Beowulf syndrome.
Chief, I agree, and I always defer to your wisdom. That's not a question for me. The bottom line is, not everybody's on contract. There are some people that do need to hear this, and I will put that out there, is that if you're listening to this and this hits you, you need to think about what you heard. You need to think about exactly what the Chief has just said, and understand and think about why you're doing what you're doing. So, but again, I thank you, and I appreciate the time.
Much appreciated. Just to let you know, everybody's on contract because we all agreed to come here.
Okay. I appreciate that.
before we physically manifested, we were asked, you want to come here or you want to stay up here? No, we want to go there. That looks good down there. You sure you want to go down there? Yeah. Okay.
There wasn't a gun to my head, I know that.
No, there wasn't. So that like I said, so it again, a lot of it again, it's programming, and if a person is denied a certain amount of information that they should have known, when they get older and they find out about it, that means I got to change everything. That no, I'm not going to do that, and then they want to forget. That again is part of the programming. There's a movie called is it Galaxy Quest with Tim Allen? Who saw Galaxy Quest with Tim Allen? And okay, so at the end of the flick, because they thought that the TV show was real, even though they were extraterrestrials, had much better technology. They weren't the brightest, but they had better technology than the TV show. And then when the real enemy came and said, "Okay, what's wrong?" He said they can't comprehend that you lied to them. He said they can't accept. They started breaking. What happened? They started breaking down. And I can't believe, because they watched every episode of Galaxy Quest and thought it was real. So when they had a real fight, they came to get these actors, and these actors, couldn't do nothing originally. Then afterward, they become heroes. So similar to the same thing. So white power and any other man that's got a question in their central time zone. Going once. Central time zone. So for those that don't know their time zones, that's Alabama, Tennessee, Illinois, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Winnipeg, Manitoba, Saskatoon, Texas, any man going twice in that central time zone. Any man going 3 times, central time zone. All right, we move on to the next time zone, which is the Mountain Standard and Pacific Standard time zone. So that's going to be BC. That's going to be Vancouver, Victoria, Edmonton, Calgary, and Montana, Wyoming. That will be New Mexico, Arizona, California, Nevada. Any women in those time zones, Washington State, Oregon, Idaho. Any women in the time zones that have a question on the call, going once. Any women in the the Pacific and Mountain Standard time zones that have a question, going twice. Any women in the Pacific Mountain Standard time zones, going 3 times. All right. Any men in the Pacific and Mountain Standard time zones, that would be California, Nevada, Arizona, Wyoming, Montana, Arkansas. Not Arkansas, New Mexico, Colorado. Any men in the Pacific and Mountain Standard time zones that have a question, going once. Any men in the Pacific and Mountain Standard time zones, going twice. And then any men in the Pacific and hold on, muted you all, please.
Hotep.
Okay, Hotep. We're going to go back to, because I forgot, let's go back to Central Time Zone, because I realized I had muted everybody. So any other men in the Central Time Zone that have a question, so Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Western Tennessee, any man in the Central Time Zone that has a question. Going once, going twice, going thrice. Okay, so now we're going to go to the Pacific and Mountain Standard Time Zones. Any women in the Pacific and Mountain Standard Time Zones, so that would be California, Washington State, Montana, Arizona, Nevada, Colorado, Wyoming. Any women in the Pacific and Mountain Standard Time Zones that have a question? Going once. Any women in the Pacific and Mountain Standard Time Zones that have a question? Going twice. Any women in the Pacific and Mountain Standard Time Zones? Going 3 times. All right. Any men in the Pacific and Mountain Standard Time Zone? Hotep.
This is Anu Samawati L calling from Toby Carr.
Rahul At.
My question, Chief, is I have a couple of questions. Is it true that Uniform Commercial Code is global, worldwide?
Not that it's true. That's what it is. That's why it's called Uniform Commercial Code, because it's connected under the Tax Act of 1966.
Okay.
It's when you read the Tax Act of 1966, it tells you that the U.S. monetary system and the world monetary system is put under the Uniform Commercial Code.
Okay. So, so you know how we have the codes for the infractions, for instance, like for extortion or genocide. You know the codes like USC. Okay.
Yeah.
The ones that are in the United States.
Yes.
If there's an infraction like that happens in another country, is it under that same code, or is there another code for that country?
There'll be a code for that country. For example, Canada they have a War Crimes Act.
Okay.
Which would be an equivalent to the genocide, which is and the genocide for the United States Code is Title 18, USC Section 1091.
Uh-huh.
And in Canada, they would have what's called the War Crimes Act, and then they have the definition of what genocide is. They have that listed.
Okay.
So they have that defined, just like in the Title 18, USC Section 1091, they have genocide defined.
Okay.
That's why I'm not. That's why I don't care much for these so-called black lawyers, because they're all full of it. That includes Benjamin Crump. I don't give a damn because he's the president of the National Bar Association. He's still a coon. Because the thing is, everyone keeps using the word police brutality. They are not using the word genocide.
Genocide. Exactly.
They are not even using human rights violations. But I understand Benjamin's position as an esquire. What is his position? He's taking orders.
Overstood on that, for sure.
He sure as hell can't articulate himself. But I comprehend that he's taking orders. So I'm not entirely mad at him per se, but it's like, man, please. They ain't talking about, look, International Decade for People of African Descent. All the people that I have listed, the bourgeoisie, the black bourgeois, everything, who do you all know? Farrakhan ain't even talking about that. That's how I know he's full of it.
Mm-hmm.
This is a General Assembly passed by the United Nations. This is the International Decade for People of African Descent. None of these guys is talking about it because they're concerned how much money they're going to lose. Sorry, bro, there is no money.
Mm-hmm.
You start saying that to people, they start getting mad at you.
Yeah.
Then you have to tell them, look, the U.S. Federal Reserve is telling you it has no value. So don't get mad at me, get mad at them. So you got hoodwinked, you got bamboozled.
No doubt.
Next question.
That's it.
Oh, okay. That's another
Much
question.
appreciated, Chief.
Oh, you're quite welcome. Like I said, white power, white power, white power. White power to the third. Okay, and so now, those that's on Facebook, put your questions in, and I'm going to go to the Skype, so any women that's on Skype that have a question. Okay, I guess no women on Skype that have a question. Okay, any men on Skype that have a question? Going one. What's that? Okay, so Andrew and then Aaron.
Chief, did you get my email? I sent it earlier today.
Let me see here. I'm just clicking on it right now. Why is this thing going so slow? Yes, your statutory claim. I will look that over.
Okay.
I got your email.
Can I also answer a statutory claim? Stephen Miller's admission that income tax voluntary?
If you want,
Start a new job come Monday.
right, like keep in mind when you do this statutory claim, you don't want to have too many pages. Otherwise, you got to go get that big stapler because when you put these together, you go to the notary. They got to notarize it. You cannot add the pages afterward. You have to do this when it's notarized.
Been doing all of this time. I'm not.
So you want to try and keep it to about 15 pages. I think after that, the staples are going to have a difficult time coming in. But if you can't add the page, then put the link in the claim and make reference like you did with like all the other links are there.
For me to live this way?
No. What?
All right.
I gotta go and check the links again. You got already.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chief. Oh, wait.
Yes.
Did you ever get around to watching the movie Ex Machina?
Oh, we gotta run and go
No, I told you last week. I got to find the theater. I think they pulled it out the theater the day I went to go watch it. 1 o'clock in the afternoon, downtown city center, major shopping place. They're building a big $200 billion hockey arena. I go there to the movie theater. The movie theater is closed in the afternoon.
When they are like, when I was about to you need to do it. I know. But I just figured out what favorite.
Did you see Is it like Chappie?
No.
Okay.
The ending is cruel.
The ending is what? Cool or cruel?
Cruel.
Okay.
Suicide.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'll definitely check that out.
I'm gonna walk right in there. I haven't forgotten about it.
Okay.
Give me some fun.
Okay. Let's see, Aaron, your question.
What's the name? Oh yeah. The scuttlebutt this past week for me because few folks are asking questions. As we move forward, how should individual people deal with cops? Should they interact with them, whether they be in a car, get pulled over, or they're on the street, or what have you?
Commercially.
Okay.
Commercially.
I knew that, but I just wanted to.
Yeah, commercially. Okay. Because that's what you're. Like I said, that's why I played all about the Benjamins last week, and I'm saying, okay, you're telling everybody it's about contract, but you're keeping it. You're like, okay, it is about contract, but we don't want you on the same playing field. We want you to be the ones that we feed off of. So I said, okay, let's play this. Now everybody knows this is what it's about. So now you're dealing with it contractually and commercially.
It's all set up against us. I already been figured out.
Yep, next one.
Yeah. Right. I already knew that. Want to let everybody. I want to let everybody know this. Law enforcement, they have what's called a Bill of Rights. Law enforcement Bill of Rights is usually under public safety under the codes and statutes in a particular state. So I don't know if anybody knew that, but they knew it. That's how they operate under, like far as able to do stuff, search and seizures and things like that. And I looked over it this week, and it's just some interesting stuff. So just to make everybody aware how they operate is they have what's called law enforcement bill of rights, and it should be under public safety in that state's code. That's what they want.
Agreed. And like I said, I'll check into that. Again, I go from the standpoint of, okay, it's a corporation. So because, again, that's applicable because the people who they interact are automatically assumed to be what? Citizens or civilians.
Right.
And as such, corporate. Next question?
Oh, no, that's it.
Oh, that was it? Okay. Ahmed, you got a question? Oh, I can't hear you.
No, I don't have a question.
Oh, no question? Eartha?
She's asleep.
Oh, she's asleep? Who's that in the back? Who's that in the back?
Amar.
What's up? All right, what's up? All right. Okay. So I guess that's it for the questions so far. I just want to address a couple things because since it ended up on my timeline, generally speaking, I have the option whether I can either accept, reject, all that fun stuff. Okay, Chantal. Okay, I will answer your question, Chantal. What is the process to obtain all necessary forms for completion? Disregard the question. My husband replayed number 47. Okay, I heard your reference regarding the military updating the status. Just need to complete forms. Thanks. Okay, all you have to do, Chantal, if you're on, if you're it's saying you're not on, but you might be, or you might have just stopped for a bit, but it said a few seconds ago. Which forms are you making reference to? If you're talking about the SF-181, you can Google that easily, download it, fill it out. We have an SF-181 page on Facebook. I'm going to put that in here so you can see it. And what do we got here? Okay, I'm going to put the link here. And this is it. You can fill that out. You can see how other people have done it, and this shows you the process on how to do the SF-181 properly. Now, the other forms, if you're talking about the statutory declaration and the statutory claim, you have to email me at talksin19@gmail.com, and I'll email them out to you. Once you email them out to you, you type that, I'll proof it, and walk you through, and then you take it to the notary and get it notarized, and then you publish it. There was something I wanted to address. Okay, military updating their status. Yeah, so military updating their status, like I said, for Farrakhan to tell the black soldiers to, see, this is how you can tell this is an agent mentality. Why would you tell black soldiers to desert when they're on contract? They can't just walk away like that. That's irresponsible. Is everybody hearing that? That's irresponsible. You know they're on contract. Now you're telling them to desert. Now, I can accept fraud, voids of contract ab initio, but let's not forget one thing. Black has no standing at law. So if they walk away from the military contract that they're under, they should get court-martialed because that's what? Breach of contract, only because they never brought up the fact they were lied to and misidentified as black when they were supposed to be identified as white. Is everybody getting that? So that is an irresponsible statement by Farrakhan to tell the U.S. military to do it. I got guys from the U.S. Navy contacting me, and I told them this is what you need to do. Yes, Ahmed, yes. I got guys from the I'm telling you all. So when you go read that General Orders 100, what was the big story that came out? I got to check my stories here. I almost forgot. We got to give them a reason. Okay. Okay, this is the first link here I want to give. This is the, and I know Chantal will like this. This story came out when this came out. What's the date here? July 21st. This is now. Everyone pay attention to this. U.S. government removing the term Negro, reprinting over 22 million birth certificates. Okay, I'm going to give you the link right here on Skype and those on Atsucata Weekly address. I'm going to put that up here right now. Now, this is July 21st is when this came out. That was Tuesday. Anybody that knows their dates from a metaphysical standpoint, Tuesday is named after a Q, and it's also known as the god of war. And that day is ruled by Mars. So now, when the question was asked about when Dakota down in Yamaka stated about Farrakhan, telling them to what the Million Man March, and I said, look, that was irresponsible. Why is the government? Why now? And look, 21 million. Isn't that about the amount of Nubians they say that are in the United States of America? 21 million? Isn't that supposedly, that's what they claim anyway. Isn't it around 21 million? Oh, hold on. I think what happened here? Okay, y'all that's on Skype, I can't hear you, so make sure your mics are on. Okay, 50 million. Okay, fine. 21 million that they've got have to change. Now, let me read the story. News 8. From the early 1900s to the early 1980s, the birth certificate of an African-American child was labeled with the term Negro. As early as in the 1700s, a child with at least a quarter Negro blood mixed was labeled a mulatto. That term carried on through the 1940s. Currently, there are over 22 million birth certificates in the United States labeled as Negro. Okay, so over 22 million. A term that was taken out the pits of slavery. On Monday, the Supreme Court, now I haven't seen the link for this, so I'm just going with this with full reservations because there's no link to but I'll have to Google it, but it's a very interesting story. So if I can find it or if anybody can find it, this will be great. The Supreme Court signed an amendment to the U.S. National Center for Health Statistics laws to make it mandatory for them to change every birth certificate on record that labels an African-American citizen as Negro or mulatto. According to analysts, however, this is putting a huge dent in the national deficit. Considering the labor, printing, postage, and servicing, this is going to run the taxpayers nearly $100 million. No, it's going to be more than that. You're lying. $100 million, the military can get $100 million. So, and each soldier is insured for $10 million. So that's BS. Everybody getting that? So what does this tell you? But from the view of this African-American man, Clifford Reynolds, this move was long overdue. Quote, this is him speaking. I was born in 1968, and mine's birth certificate say Negro. I'm not a damn Negro. I'm a black man. I got the right not have that racist word on my birth certificate. And do I care about the cost? Hell no. They owe us reparations anyways. So again, this is to focus on the word what? Black. And ignore the obvious. So it's very interesting. And when I looked at the date, what did I say? They have to change not only health statistics, vital statistics, they'll have to change everything. School books, textbooks, college books, history books, everything has to get changed. That's why Dr. Cresswell saying froze, because she now realizes her book has to be rewritten, and if her publisher is not with it, she can't rewrite the ISIS papers properly and call Asset as who she was, the deity Asset. So that means she's on contract, so she's not free then. If she can't change the book and she's the author because her publishers say no, she's no different than a field Negro or a house Negro. What's the next thing? Next article. This was a raw story. This came out of Renan's corporately called New York, where a candidate running for the Buffalo Common Council has refused to end his campaign after he was caught on tape using the N-word to describe black leaders. In an audio recording obtained by the Buffalo News, Joseph A. Maskia can be heard complaining to a former employee about Mayor Byron Brown, Council President Darius Pridgeton, Assemblywoman Crystal Peoples-Stokes, and Dawn Sanders Garrett, who was Massia's boss at the Buffalo Municipal Housing Authority. During the 1-minute profanity-laced recording, Massia manages to use the N-word 8 times. I'm quoting him. Oh, is this it playing right now? Oh, okay, this is it here. Oh, but they chopped it out. And see, I'm a stickler for that. And he said, this is what he said. effing niggers, man, he tells the employee as the recording ends, once they get in power, forget about it. Forget it. They want it all. And they don't, huh? Okay, so here's that for you on Skype and the Atsukata weekly address. I'm putting that right here. You have that here, and I'm posting that. Okay, I will read through and complete. Thank you. Okay, so Chantel, so make sure that you, like I said, you can see different people doing their SF-181. Once you fax that in, and this is for everybody who may have done it and haven't done it, you make sure your job, if you're on getting public assistance, you give that to them. If you're going to college, taking college, you do that as well. Hand that into the registrar and have them make sure that's put into your file. All of this. This is a federal form. It's not subject to debate. What's the next one here?
Thank you, Chief. This is Chantel. I just wanted to say thank you, sir.
Oh, you're quite welcome. You're quite welcome. What was this? Oh, okay, here's the next article. We're going into some other things. This is Japan opens doors to the world's first hotel run entirely by robots. So I'm going to paste that. I'm not saying anything more as far as technology for today because everybody knows what the dealio is now. And when you have processing speed of a computer that can calculate trillions of calculations per second, that means it can outthink you. Unfortunately, well, it depends how one wants to look at it. Maybe from unfortunately or fortunately, the Pentagon hasn't figured that one out. Those generals haven't figured that out yet. Anytime something can outthink you, you're in trouble. Next thing, next article. Let's see here. Which one is this? Oh, this is the nice one. Okay, yeah, I got to read this one. This one's major. This was on Above Top Secret. I'm going to give this to you guys right now. And on Skype you got it, and on Weekly Address you got it. Okay. Okay. A robot just passed the self-awareness test. Roboticists at the Rensselaer Polytechnical Institute in New York have built a trio of robots that were put through the classic wise men puzzle test of self-awareness, and one of them passed. In the puzzle, a fictional king is choosing a new advisor and gathers the three wisest people in the land. He promises the contest will be fair, then puts either a blue or white hat on each of their heads and tells them all that the first person to stand up and correctly deduce the color of their own hat will become his new advisor. Selmer Bridgeford set up a similar situation for the three robots. Two were prevented from talking, then all three were asked which one was still able to speak. All attempt to say, I don't know, but only one succeeds, and when it hears its own voice, it understands that it was not silent, saying, sorry, I know now. However, as we can assume that all three robots were coded the same, technically all three have passed this self-awareness test. Bringsford's work will be presented at the Ro-Man Conference in Japan, which runs from August 31st to the 4th of September 2015. So, there's your artificial intelligence. Next thing, let's see, which one is this here? Oh, okay, I'll pass on that for now. Okay, next article. Let's see, what's this? Okay, this is a nice link here. This is a black FBI agents and informants. So I'm going to give that one to you all. Okay, so Atsukata Nation and Yamasi you got that. And then here is the list. Whoa. Okay, what's going on here? Okay. Here's the list here. So black FBI agents and informants, okay? And then you've got their pictures and those who were actually had infiltrated. So you guys have that. Let's see here. What is this one here? Oh, yeah, this is the T-Mobile. Yeah, for those of you that have T-Mobile, they've extended your coverage beyond the borders at no extra charge. So now for those that are on T-Mobile or will be getting or want to look for a carrier, you can get unlimited calls and texts to any phone in the United States, Mexico, and Canada, and 4G LTE data, just like in the U.S. So tell me that T-Mobile is not listed to the weekly address. Say what? Oh, T-Mobile's still no good? Okay, so you got my number, so I should be able to get a phone call from you, Andrew. So if I don't get a phone call from you, then we know they're definitely messing with me. Okay, the next one. What is this? Okay, this is the one about Hitler fleeing to Argentina. They finally admit that Hitler never died in a bunker and never committed suicide. So I gave you guys have that link. And we got that. Okay, come on. Okay, come on. Okay, now the next one is go to the 2-minute mark. And okay, two more articles, and then I want to do a quick house cleaning and another set of calls, questions, and we're done for this week. Now, this is an article that I would suggest all those who've done their stack declarations, claims, etc., print out. So when people start complaining about how black people need to get over it, and they really do, but once they claim their indigenous standing, they are entitled to this. This is an article about a 92-year-old former Nazi who was put on trial for war crimes and possible charges for 40 Auschwitz guards to follow. So the link is there. So I just put it there in Skype, and I'm going to put on weekly address. If I can get some cooperation here. Computer's running a little slow. Okay, come on. Yeah, I guess they don't want the ones on Facebook to get this article. This thing's moving real slow now. Okay. Okay, we'll close up a couple of these windows. Okay. Now this story is September. It was set 2013, but it's still relevant even though it's 2 years ago. Germany put a 92-year-old former member of the Nazi Waffen-SS on trial Monday on charges that he killed a Dutch resistance fighter in 1944. Dutch-born Siert Bruins, who is now German, entered the Hagen state courtroom using a walker, but appeared alert and attentive as the proceedings opened. This guy's 92 years old. No pleas are made in the German system, and Bruins offered no statement. His attorney, Klaus-Peter Knifka, said after the short 35-minute opening session that it was unlikely his client would ever address the court personally. I will probably deliver a defense declaration, but it depends on the course of the trial. So now, I would suggest those that have claimed their indigenous standing and whatnot, print this article out, so when they start, you start wanting to claim your history and damage and compensation, and they say, well, that's in the past, you're like, oh no, they were going after this guy who's 92 years old. Just to show you how they get down when they want justice. They don't care how old he is. Okay, two more. And this article should be the tax commissioner at the 2-minute mark. Yes, yeah, the former IRS tax commissioner saying taxes is voluntary. So here, I'm going to put this one right here, weekly address. So for those who don't have it, you've got it now. And I'm going to put it on Skype. So for those that have that, you guys, those who've done their statutory claim to the IRS, you might want to have an audio copy and print this off in your records. Okay, where are we at here? Okay, that's it for you. Okay, now, one thing I do want to address, since it ended up on my timeline, and let's see here if I can find it real quick, because I know a lot of people were talking about it. This was a post that was put on my page. Let me see if I can find it. It's always when stuff like this happens. And when you go looking for stuff, it's always hidden. Okay, let me see here. Now, this pertains to the Moore Science Temple 13 out of Baltimore, and this was put on my timeline by Kansu Seti, and his organization is the Shabazz Foundation, Shabazz Eil Foundation, and basically what was posted on my page was that the charter from the Moore Science Temple number 13 and the Grand Sheikh there is Joel Bratton Bey is the highest charter on the planet. And all of us on this call, that's a bunch of garbage. So I know Kansu Seti will be listening to this, so perhaps he can explain how that charter supersedes my claims on the Vatican, number one. But we already know Kansu Seti will not respond. Number two, who gave the authority? Who was the sovereign that gave the charter? The next question is, where was this charter by Joel Bratton Bey ever tendered to any court anywhere in the United States of America? Elizabeth II, the Rothschilds, the Knights Templar, the Vatican, and the Jesuits? And what communications have you sent to them? And where is your evidence? So now is the time, Grand Sheikh Joel Bratton Bey, show and reveal what you have. But we already know the answer. You can't do it because you don't have it. And then when the concept or when the statement was made by Kansu Seti about many people don't understand that there are only 3 charters similar to this charter on the planet Earth. One is the Masonic Charter. So let me give you some insight, Kansu Seti. The Masonic Charter, dealing with whether they are the Free and Accepted Masons, Prince Hall Masons, they get their charter from the Grand Lodge in England. And just to let you know, Kansu Seti, their charters have expired, number one. So not only are they clandestine, but the English Masons, these Amorite Masons, are also clandestine. Number two, the charter that the Grand Lodge in England got to operate, they got that from us, the Moors. Number three, when it's stated in the doctrine and the materials of Temple number 13, they got permission from the Pharaoh. Now you need to show which Pharaoh gave you the authority and from which dynasty of the Pharaoh gave you authority for the charter. So if you guys cannot present that, then you are committing fraud, and then you are operating a fraud. I just thought you might want to know that, Kansu Seti. Furthermore, for those, and I've posted this before on Facebook, but for those on Skype, you'll be able to see this. This is a book called Postgraduate, Renewal of the Lessons. Zigzag Zig. Let me know if y'all can, on Skype, the ones on Skype, they can see this. And for those who haven't, Zigzag Zig is written by Malachi Z. York L. So if you go to page 130 of the book, when these Moors are flying this Moroccan flag, I'm going to read on page 130. I already have a screenshot of this on Facebook. Again, this information is borrowed from the Moorish American Questionnaire, Act 3. Let it be he or she according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. These types of terms he described as the reasons for the use of the pentagram 5-pointed stars found on the Moroccan flag, which they used. He states in number 19, what kind of flag is the Moorish? It is a red flag with a with a 5-pointed green star in the center. The use of the flag in Morocco as a symbol of the state dates way back to the Almoravid dynasty, who were an Islamic dynasty that ruled North Africa and Spain from 1056 AD to 1147 AD. Notice North Africa falls in line with the standard form 181. And according to the Diccionario General Ilustrado de la Española on page 79 to 80, that would be 79 and 80 in Spanish, 79 to 80, defines the name Almoravid as devout, devotional, religious, and were the first to unify Morocco under a single government during the 11th dynasty. White silk banners were often used in battle, sometimes with the Quranic inscription, there is no God but God and Muhammad is his prophet, or as it is written in Arabic, La ilaha illa Allah, Muhammad Rasulullah. The Alawites, beginning in the 17th century, which is the ruling dynasty and the ancestors of the present-day king of Morocco, King Hassan II, son of Muhammad V, were the first to introduce the solid red flag. This interlocking green 5-pointed star, which they call the Green Suleiman Star, was introduced in 1912 when Morocco was put under French rule. Although many will deny it, however, this Green Suleiman Star is nothing more than the shield of Solomon, son of David. And anybody knows that the name Suleiman is just an Arabic graftation of the Hebrew name Shilomo. And the shield of Solomon is not to be mistaken with the shield of David, his father, which was the 6-pointed star. Although they won't admit it, other books such as the Volume F of the New Book of Knowledge Encyclopedia, page 228, tells you in plain and simple English that what they're using is the seal of Solomon. Don't believe me? Check it out. So the red flag of Morocco wasn't introduced until the 17th century, which puts you in the 1600s, making their flag almost 400 years old. And the green star wasn't made a part of the flag until 1912, making the official flag of Morocco, that you see today, only 85 years old, not 10,000 years old, not our original flag. So that Moroccan flag that these so-called Moors are flying is 85 years old and not 10,000, which means the Moorish 101 questionnaire is incorrect. So the challenge is to Joel Bratton, the Grand Sheikh Joel Bratton Bey, Dr. Elihu Pleasant Bey, Swift Angel #1, dispute that. But we already know what you're going to do. You will say nothing and keep your mouth shut. My point is this. Why is a Jewish star being used to represent an Islamic country? I will tell you why. It is because they were simply Islamic Hebrews from the invasion of Arabs and Jews in Morocco. This is on page 131. So, continue on. In 1492, the Moors, from the Spanish word morenos, meaning black, and the Sephardim Jews were expelled from Spain. These were the fake Sephardim who were of Spanish blonde hair and blue-eyed Spaniards, not Puerto Ricans or Nubians. The Sephardim were also of Portuguese origin. The real dark-skinned, woolly-haired Sephardims are currently in Yemen, Morocco, Sudan, Ethiopia, and America as American Negroes and were originally of the tribes of Judah, Dan, Benjamin, and Dinah. The Sephardim Jews were known as the Hebrew Israelites. They were the original Sephardim and were darker than the Khazars, who stole the name Ashkenazim, called the Pale Jews. When the Arabs and Sephardim invaded Morocco, they came spreading Islam and Judaism. This is why the flag has the 5-pointed star representing the Hebrew Israelites. So your flag is only 85 years old, and it's not 10,000. Now, let me see if I can get the publishing date, because this book was around 2000. Let me see if I can find a date, a publishing date when this was done. So this is around 96, around this. So you're talking another 15 years on top of that. So this flag, so from 1912 to 2012 is what, 100 years. So this flag, this Moroccan 5-point star, green 5-pointed star on a red flag is not no 10,000 years old. So that's a lie. That's not love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Just thought they might want to know that. You watch this phone, because I know how they like to slip me off when I start dropping it. Now, this is another book here. You will not find this book. This book is out of print. This is called the Book of Lamb. And for those who went through the Islam school, some of them are familiar with this book. Some may have it, some may not. I do. And this was written in the Islam school, Sayyid al-Imam Isa al-Hadi al-Mahdi. Now, on page 17, it makes mention and talks about the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Noble Drew Ali was born Timothy Drew in 1886 in the state of North Carolina amongst the Cherokee Indian tribe. He dedicated his life to making the Nubian American a first-class citizen of the United States, not through civil rights from a constitution that does not apply to you. Pay attention. Let me read that again. Not through civil rights from a constitution that does not apply to you, but by way of giving you a culture that you could call your own, thereby giving you self-esteem. As a result, others would recognize your newfound status and give the black nation the respect it rightfully deserved. Influenced by Oriental philosophy and al-Islam during his pilgrimage to North Africa, SF 181, North Africa, Noble Drew Ali, he was of the noble, was determined to free the black man from white domination. In 1913 AD, Noble Drew Ali established the Moorish Science Temple in Newark, New Jersey. Like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he had very little schooling, yet the wisdom he possessed surpassed that of many alert scholars. He traveled to Egypt and other Eastern countries. In Egypt, he learned the science of the pyramids and the true teachings of al-Islam, while in the East, he adopted the Muslim name Sharif Abdul Ali. According to legend, Noble Drew Ali was said to have visited North Africa, where the King of Morocco commissioned him to teach al-Islam to blacks in America. Upon his return, he was said to have received a charter from President Theodore Roosevelt for the propagation of al-Islam, because the president believed it would be as difficult getting Negroes to accept Islam as trying to fit a horse with a pair of pants. So that charter, Constitucetti, if it ain't signed by President Theodore Roosevelt, is not a real charter. Just thought y'all might want to know that. Let's see here. Noble Drew Ali went to Chicago in 1925 after establishing a temple in both Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and Detroit, Michigan. He told Nubian Americans that they were Asiatic, not Negro, black, colored, or Ethiopian. He also taught your true history, laid in that of the Moors of Morocco. The members of the Moor Science Temple considered themselves Muslims under the divine laws of the Holy Quran of Mecca: love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. They falsely believed Noble Drew Ali to be a prophet, and the so-called Quran, which he compiled from many sources, to be a divine scripture, and that's a Quran spelled with a K. Although Noble Drew Ali was sincere in his efforts to uplift the Nubian race, many of those whom he placed in authority did not have the same zeal. Instead of working for the betterment of Nubian Americans, they became rich by exploiting the populace to have faith in the charms, relics, magical potions, pictures, and false information about the Asiatic race which they sold. Noble Drew Ali's leadership was opposed by Sheikh Claude Green. A short time later, on March 15, 1929, Claude Green was murdered and Noble Drew Ali was charged with his death. Let me see here. The Quran of the Moorish Science Temple has nothing to do with the true Quran revealed to the Prophet Mustafa Muhammad Al-Amin, peace and blessings be upon him, in 610 AD. It is not a translation of this divine text. And then I have one more I want to read, which is very important. Beautiful. The Quran was spelled with a K of the Moorish Science Temple. In 1914 AD, Noble Drew Ali, he was of the noble, founded and established the Moorish Science Temple of America. He had very little religious backing and a limited knowledge of the scriptures. However, Noble Drew Ali was successful in gathering large crowds. By 1928, the Moorish Science Temple of America had established temples in 15 different states throughout the United States. Now keep in mind the dates, 1928. When you get to 1933, that's when the United States declared bankruptcy. Prior to that, in 1871, it was created under the Legislative Act of D.C., making it a corporation. It existed, and then in 1933, on June 5th, when it declared bankruptcy, it existed from that point forward in name only. The Moorish Science Temple made their own version of the Holy Quran called the Holy Koran. This version is no more than the Aquarian Gospel of Jesus Christ, written by Levi H. Dowling. And refer to edition number 152, the Book of Lamb, and I have that in edition number 109, Who was Noble Drew Ali. Notice, these pages taken from the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple and the Aquarian Gospel of Jesus the Christ are the same. I'm only going to read one verse, 19. This is from the Aquarian Gospel. Teach that the Holy Breath would make them one again, restoring harmony and peace. This is section 3, verse 20, that naught can make them one but love, that God so loved the world that he clothed his Son in flesh that man may comprehend. The only Savior of the world in love, and Jesus, Son of Mary, comes to manifest that love to men. No, the only Savior of the world is love, and Jesus, Son of Mary, comes to manifest that love to men. And so now when we look at chapter 3 from the Holy Prophet, we see, where's the verse here? Print is so tiny. Okay. Higher self. There are two selves, the higher self and the lower self. Okay, that's chapter 8. Okay, beautiful. Okay, so if you look at verse 27, where it says, then every man of earth will read the words of life in language of his native land, and men will see the light, walk in the light, and be the light. This is from the Aquarian Gospel, page 40, verse 27. Then verse 28, and man again will be at one with God. Now, this is the Aquarian Gospel, page 40, verse 27 to 28. Now, when you read from the Holy Koran of the Moorish Science Temple, from the Holy Prophet on page 7, where it says, then every man of earth will read the words of life in language of his native land, and men will see the light and walk in the light and be the light. Verse 28, and man again will be at one with Allah. So they just translated the words differently. So, when I hear people make statements such as that about that charter from Grand Sheikh Joel Bratton Bey being the highest charter on the planet, that's a lie. So I'm challenging Moorish Science Temple number 13, but we already know what you're going to do, don't we? You will stay silent and act as if I have said nothing. which I will accept for value, honor, and consideration, because I am the plenipotentiary of Atlant. Your temple, Great Seal, Elihu Pleasant Bay, the Nuwabians, what's his name, Ali Muhammad's group, all of you all have been exported to the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. As long as you have a Federal Reserve note in your pocket, that is a confession that you all are debtors if you're not secure parties, and the fact that I am the one that has the superior claim on this planet, Tiamat. So if you have any claims that can beat what I've done, and we know you can't, go right ahead and present them like you've done on Facebook, Consusetti, but we already know you won't do that either. So, all the Moorish Science Temples, and I've done an export declaration for a brother from the Moorish Science Temple who flipped and then said he was a U.S. citizen, admitting he was a corporation. So now, they have to go where? To the middle of the Atlantic Ocean and float. Next thing. This is an important issue. I wanted to read this. I'll probably only be able to read one page because it's a lot of information here. So what I will say is I'll read this. It's on page 79 for those who have it. This is a book called Great Balls of Fire Cast at the Earth. So for those who have the book. And this was authored by a student of Amanubi Rakta, and her name is Kifa Sant Hotep. And she authored this book, Great Balls of Fire Cast on the Planet Earth. If you go to page 79, what you're going to see, the question is asked. So are you saying, broke some glass. Oh, spilled my water. That's a good sign. That's a positive sign. Just bear with me 1 second. Got to clean up my water here. So that means something major is coming up. This is beautiful. Okay. Is everybody still here? Hold on, let me make sure I didn't. Okay, great. Okay, on page 79, the question is asked. So are you saying that reptilians are living on the planet Earth now? Answer, yes. The reptilians originally could only stay out of water for only 3 hours. Now they can stay out of water for 6 to 8 hours. When the reptilians came to the Dogon tribe in Mali, Africa, and mixed in with them, they told them that they were called the Nomos, or the Numos, meaning instructor, lawgiver, who had come to guide them, only if they would tell them of the secret caves the Rumar.
Wow.
White power.
White power. White power.
Rahwat.
Rahwat.
Okay, great. Where were we? Okay, page 79. The Nomos, okay. They did not have the Dogon's best interest. This is the Nomos. They were just using them. These beings lived underwater during the day, and by the shadow hours, they would come out to teach them. These reptilians taught the Dogons of their great deity Dagon, thus naming the tribe Dogons. The reptilians also taught them knowledge about the universe, star formations, and constellations without the aid of telescopes. The maps they have today are so accurate that they match modern maps today. Question: the reptilians that have human forms or bodies, are they actually humans? When they are described as human in shape or humanoid, it only means as far as their outside appearance or physical body structure. Many do take on human forms due to mixing and breeding with humans. You are not the only beings in the galaxy that have the, quote, human look. Different beings have taken life form from this planet and transported to their planet in test tubes. Beings from Venus and Pleiades are very human-like. A very common physical feature of reptilians that is showing up more and more in Nubians is the back of their head being flat, or what is termed slope head. Other defects from mixing with reptilians is puffy fingertips, long nails, and webbed hands. There are many skin diseases that come from mixing with extraterrestrials. The skin disorder, such as eczema, is from mixing the genes with reptilians, which is extreme cases of very dry, scaly, leather-looking like skin. Everybody has scales. When you don't put on oil or lotion, you easily see the flakes on your skin. It is what you call ash. These disorders are on a small level. Some are extreme, as in the case of 2 children born in India, where the skin on their entire body is extremely rough, dry, scaly, and discolored. This order is called Ichthyosaurus, pronounced Ichthyosaurus, meaning fish lizard, a type of reptile that existed during the Mesozoic time until the Cretaceous period. This is just further proof that humans evolved from different life forms and the fact that there's extraterrestrial involvement with the genes of humans. And refer to scroll number 136 entitled Extraterrestrials and Creations. Let me see. Okay, then there's another. I'm going to read one other one here. Page 83. You have the humanoid reptile and the insect-looking beings. Tell us more about these insect-looking beings. You have those that look like insects and rodents. There are insects and rodents on Earth now that are from other planets, such as roaches, grasshoppers, praying mantis, and scarab beetles, just to name a few. Don't forget about the dolphin. Insects and rodents are very irritating and dangerous to human beings because they carry lots of germs and bacteria that can kill humans. You also have beings that look like insects, however, they are human in shape. Extraterrestrial beings do not like the effects of intoxicants, sugar, coffee, chocolate, and prefer the pure essence without toxins. So those ETs that eat people really prefer children as opposed to adults. This should make you stop and think, where are all those missing children that appear on milk cartons? Question: is there any way to fight these beings off? Answer: they say the best way to have a defense against these beings is by wrapping themselves in white light and visualizing the highest frequencies of divinity, the high self. This is what is called psychic self-defense. You must be mentally strong so that you will be able to withstand their telepathic influences. So, even though it's contract, it's commerce, there's still spiritual aspects. Why do you think every time I do the weekly addresses, I lead off with what? An invocation. So, you can't have one where you can't just do it commerce and ignore the spiritual aspect. Who are the Maldekians? The Maldekians, who are also known as Valkuns, or troglodytes, Trogians, survived the crash when Nibiru hit their planet, which happened 24 billion years ago. They thrived in the seas of this newly formed planet called Tiamat and Kai, which much later became known as Earth. Started as new life forms on the planet Tiamat. They set up kingdoms called Yams under waters. They lived in the seas of Tiamat, Earth, from Eridu, for millions of years. Their home base is under what is known as the Bermuda Triangle and the Devil's Triangle. They developed into intelligent humanoids by abducting and mixing their seed with humans. There were also other species of extraterrestrials like greys, which some dinosaurs evolved from, like the Hypsilophodon and the Tyrannosaurus rex. The greys came from the star constellation of Auriga and the Capella star formation, and some from Arcturus and Pleiades. They were created originally by the Nichiru to be scouts and were faithful workers that were freed after their service. The reptilians captured them and ruled them from Rigel and Betelgeuse, Bellatrax, Mintaka, Alnilam, and Alnitak in the Orion star constellation. The last three stars mentioned are stars the Riskians took residence on during the depleting of their ozone layer, while the first three are inhabited by Greys, etc. The Maldekians' planet Valkun was originally called Maldek, and Maldek is the original home of the Luciferians or reptilians. It was located after the planet E, Neptune. Maldek was 27,005 miles in diameter. Maldek had a population of billions living under the seas of Karna and Vadur subsidies. Maldek also had 2 moons. This was the planet of Mukia or Trogians, Troglodytes, Dragons, and Voltex. All of these are names for the same beings with just different names for them from different planets. The Maldekians' average height is 3.5 feet to 4.5 feet, and their heads are extremely large. The Maldekian troglodytes or Trojans have two round eyes without pupils and no ears or protruding nose. Just 2 small holes in the nose area. Their mouths are a slit without lips. The troglodyte is hairless and has no teeth. Its hands have 4 webbed fingers and no thumbs. So we'll stop there as far as reading that. I'll continue that next week, but I just wanted to get that in for people to consider. This is the type of stuff that's out there that we're dealing with. So I'm going to get back to questions, and we're going to finish up for this week. So I'm going to go back onto line, so it doesn't matter. Okay. We're going to stick with the men first. We started with the women, so the men first. Going to go east to west. Any man in the Eastern time zone.
We got links to them crafts.
That has a question. Going once. Going twice. Going 3 times.
Link to them crafts.
Okay. Any women in the Eastern time zone that have a question?
Real secret they don't want.
Okay.
Going once. Hotep.
Yes. My question is regarding. Yes. Hello.
Yes, and
yes,
you are.
My question is. Oh, I'm sorry, Maisha.
You there?
Yes.
Yes, and you are?
Maisha.
Aisha, and you're calling from where?
Florida, Maisha with an M.
Oh, Maisha. Okay, I apologize, Maisha. Okay.
Yes, that's fine. My question was the list that you mentioned, these extra beings, extraterrestrial. What do they want? What do they want with the original people on the Earth?
They don't want anything from you. You don't have anything they want. They just want to take over the planet. You just happen to be in the way.
Okay.
So why do you think they can put out, now it's coming out, what are they doing? India is suing the Bill Gates Foundation for the vaccines. China was taking vaccines from the West, and now they have an explosion of autism in the children.
Uh-huh.
This is not by coincidence, it's by design.
Mm-hmm.
And if you accept, like, pardon?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And so now there's another right by the name of Rick Smith who had brought up, and I liked his explanation was basically coming that what the Amorites have done is they made a deal, and this is talked about on a old tape called the Mothership tape, which you should be able to find on YouTube. And in the Mothership tape, Amorites have already made a deal with the Greys because the Greys are controlled by the reptilians. Wow. So they made a deal that, okay, we're going to sell all other humans, melaninites, whether they consider themselves Asian or Hindu, but anyone who has melanin, they sell them out, and they be like the overseers over the melaninites. You follow?
Yeah.
So this is where, at a certain point, when you see things don't make sense, you have to start saying, okay, there's another factor involved here. And this is where you start getting into the extraterrestrial, type of thing, and that's why I said that you have to walk in the light of the sun now. There's no privacy anymore. So if anyone thinks they're going to get privacy, they can forget about it.
I agree, definitely. I talk to my mother, and it's like there's always something in the line, scratching and on all this, and so that's why I had to ask my question. And I remember reading through history how some of them were trying to turn humans into slaves or reverse slaves before. It's like a cycle that goes on.
Yes.
And I'm just wondering if that's what they're trying to do again. And some were freed out. Mm-hmm.
Well, you got to consider one thing. They're following people's family DNA. So they're following and monitoring people's family down through generations.
Okay.
So this is beyond what we call regular technology. Like the problems that we have, I've had guys who have digital equipment. We had a conference call. They put in a CD. They try to record. Next minute, the CD is telling them that the disc is full. We only spoke for he put in a fresh CD, and it said we had been talking, and it said in 5 minutes of talking, it said the disc was full, which we know that's not the case.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, we realized, okay, this is beyond just the technology. What is said is that what we think is good technology is throwaway stuff.
Right.
They have ability to have technology. They got turned on their volume. Okay, you still there?
Yes. My second question, just briefly, is I just wonder if you received my statutory declaration.
Yes, I did receive your statutory declaration.
Yeah, I had added in some more.
Yeah, I see it right here. Because you have it under no subject, correct?
Correct.
Oh yeah, your rough drafts. Okay, yeah. So just give me a few days, and I'll get that back to you.
Okay, great. Much appreciated. Thank you so much.
Oh, make sure that you have that apology from Pope Francis.
Okay, I have the AP letter. Is that okay?
The
AP News article?
Yeah, if it's Associated Press, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's why none of that stuff don't matter.
And it boils down to genetics, too. We got the links to them crafts. That's what the books tell us.
Yeah, I'm still here. I just don't know who was talking, so I was letting them talk.
It's not on my end.
Okay. So that's fine for you?
Yes. Thank you. Much appreciated.
You're quite welcome. White power.
White power.
Okay, and any other in the Eastern Time Zone? Going once, going twice.
Hotep. Chief, this is Dakota again. You mentioned that we all here under contract, but a lot of us have amnesia. So how do we make that memory present so we can access it?
What? Offering.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Offering is one way. Another way is meditation. You ask the universe, okay, tell me what I agreed to come here to do if I'm not fulfilling my purpose.
Okay.
Not difficult. Very simple.
Well, that's easy enough to do. I just didn't know to do that.
You do now. Give gratitude.
I'm going to have to do that one. Thank you, Chief.
You're welcome. All right. Okay, so let's see. How did we do this? We went and women. Okay, so now we'll go Central Time Zone. Any man in the Central Time Zone that has a question? So that's Illinois, Louisiana, Texas, Mississippi, Missouri. Going once. Going twice. Going 3 times. Okay. Any woman in the Central Time Zone that has a question? Going once. Hotep. And who is this? You there? Okay, I guess we lost that woman in the Central Time Zone then. Okay. Moving on to, let's see, what we did in men and then women. Okay, so now the man in the Pacific and Mountain Standard Time Zones will have a question. Washington State, California, Montana, any man that has a question. In the Western, in the Pacific and Mountain Standard Time Zones. Okay, going once, going twice, 3 times. Okay, any women or any woman in the Pacific and Mountain Standard Time Zones, which is California, Arizona, Colorado, Wyoming. Okay. Yes.
I was calling about to see if you got the IRS statutory claim to proof.
Oh, this is Nina?
Yes.
Let me see here.
And also Rick's proof that he bounces out.
I'm looking for it right now. All I'm seeing is a receiver code from the 24th, and then I'm seeing...
It would have been Monday.
IRS claim, okay, July 23rd. Okay, here it is. Let me see here real quick. Okay, yeah, because I'm going to fix that up because you don't need to put Cherokee in parentheses.
Okay.
Yeah, you want that you want it out of the parentheses, and then you want to add your SSN. And I think, yeah, because you don't have the jurat, so I just got to fix that up for you still. So, but I have it. I'm looking at it.
All right. Thank you.
So just give me a couple days. And I did get your email and your text message regarding donations, so I did get that.
Okay.
Yeah, I got the text message. I haven't gotten it yet, but I got the text message. All right. Much appreciated for that donation, too. Okay. Any other woman in the Pacific and Mountain Standard Time Zones that have a question? Going once. Going twice. Going 3 times. Okay. Those that's on Facebook, feel free to put your question in. Okay, and what I'll do is I'll go to Ahanu. Okay, I'm going to ask.
And remember, he reading top 4.
Okay, yeah. So Ahanu, yeah, there is a burial rites for indigenous peoples. There's a way that is going to be done. Again, you have to get your ducks in a row, and we can get and discuss that at length. I would suggest, though, that if you don't have it, Ahanu, get a copy of our Constitution and start reading it.
There's something going on. It's something going on.
Okay. So now I'm going to go to Skype. So those that's on Skype. Okay. Any men that have a question on Skype? This is the last set of questions for tonight. Okay. So Andrew, no. Aaron, no. You straight?
They are around,
Okay. Tiger, you all right?
Hello.
Okay. Well, that's it then. So, Andrew, Rick Smith Mothership. Well, Rick Smith was talking more so about, he was talking more so about, he mentions, if you want to know what's going on, you got to deal with real estate. So that is, again, dealing with commerce. You can't ignore that. The best movie, of course, is to watch Jupiter Ascending. But haven't heard much from Rick Smith. It's like after he did those 2 videos, it's like, and then when I've done what I've done, I've sent him stuff he knows, but he hasn't really said anything. So I think people are really playing around with freedom. They're talking about it, but then when it actually manifests, they have that Stockholm syndrome, like this is actually real. This is going to happen. And the reason why I say that is because I contacted Peter Moon, who wrote the Montauk Book of the Dead. And what he suggested in the book we did, and I never read the book till maybe 3 years ago. So now all of a sudden, I emailed him by his because Peter Moon is a pen name. So I tried to contact him via his publisher, and it's interesting that he will sit down and talk with Pleasant Bay. And Azaziel Bey confirmed that off of a seminar that Azaziel Bey did, that he walked in and he said, yeah, I saw this white boy there wearing a fez and a sash and sitting down with Pleasant Bay. That was Peter Moon, who wrote the Montauk Book of the Dead. I try to contact him. These guys don't say nothing. So now I'm like, okay, you guys ain't really serious then. That's how I'm viewing it. And I contacted him through his publisher. I did speak with Pleasant Bay. We spoke for 15 minutes. It was cordial, but then afterward it just went afterward because they knew what the implication of what I've done means. So with that, we're going to as always for the secret admirers, the Exoterra Astrals, Ashtar Command, the Palladians, all those who are really making it difficult for our ancestors to get here. We want to give them a nice white power before we close out this week. So everybody give them a nice white power.
Power.
White power.
White power. White power. White power. White power.
White power.
White power. White power. White power. White power. White power. Happy you de gore. Happy you de gore. Happy you de gore.
The tipping rod, yeah. White power.
White power.
White power. White power.
Power, white power.
White power, white power, white power.
White power, white power, white power.
To the third power.
White power.
White power.
So, Nukan Sinu Hamud no ila panituru ila parashinat ila pa how e. I give gratitude and appreciation to the Nitu, my ancestors, my family, for those who've been on this call for us, being able to have a weekly conference call. Amunure, Amunure, Amunure. I will have you entertain, and I will speak with everybody next week on Weekly Address 65. Hotep, the through shot all. Wadu.
Okay. What's up, Chief?
Hotep.
Hotep. Hotep.
Hotep.
Alright.
What? White power.
Hotep. White power.
White power.
Hotep, you know, on site. Hotep.
Hotep.